Welcome back, everyone. It is day number 4 of the WGL APAC-ASIA 2015 Season 2. This is the Gold Series. My name is Susie Kim. This is Wolf Schroeder, and we are here to bring you another fantastic day of text.
Day 4, as you mentioned, and we are starting to, again, see where these teams are at in terms of each other. And it's been a good season so far. Yeah,
so far so good. We're going to go ahead and give you an overview, however, of what this season is all about, just in case you've missed it. Here we go. Schedule, like we said, it has started on November 26th. We are on day number 4, and we're going to go all through the winter. You guys can get nice, toasty warm with us till February 4th.
That's right. Now, we have switched up our format a little bit. We are going to be going to 4 maps instead of 2, but it will be your same best of 9. Just 2 games per maps, 1 attack, 1 defense. And of course, the tank list has been updated as well, where you have 68 points you can go up to. So tier 10s are now on the table. We've got a few new maps, but the point system stays about the same.
Exactly, and the tier 10 tanks. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a tongue twister there. The tier 10 tanks right now have allowed us to really get to know new tanks, a new meta, completely different play styles. And so, yeah, along with the map changes, it's been an exciting season so far.
That's right. You know, the game has not changed, but the eSports certainly has.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, with WGL's help here, living in a new era, a new time period. And that's really exciting. We've got new teams here in Gold Series that we didn't have last season as well.
Yep, and we're going to go ahead and introduce these teams to you now. So here we go. We have EL Gaming, Horsemen, Super Noobs, Immortals, the Karen Tigers, PvP Super Friends, Team Efficiency, and B Gaming. Now, most of these teams have been with us through Gold Series Season 1. Super Noobs and PvP Super Friends are the 2 teams who have joined us from the Silver League up to the Gold Series for Season 2.
That's right. We lost Run and TCSG. They dropped down. They were replaced with these super awesome teams in Super Friends and Super Noobs. And obviously, so far, they've shown us some pretty good games. And we're still very early on in the season, so we can expect them to improve as well.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's go straight into today's matchups. What do we have on the line today, Wolf?
Well, let's talk about this matchup today. We're going to start off with Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency, which I think should be a cool, really awesome first series. But coming up next, we've got EL Gaming versus B Gaming, and then they're going to face off against Karen Tiger, so it's almost as if it's EL versus both sides of Japan back to back.
And that's exciting also, the Karen Tigers versus EL Gaming, because that was basically the first and second place from season number 1. So you get like the best 2 teams who were the best 2 teams during season 1, and then we're going to see, who's going to take it? Who's actually the stronger one here?
That's right. So, it's kind of an update for us as to who is the best team in the Gold Series. But, that's going to be our last match of the night. B Gaming going to try to prove themselves. Tough matches for those Japanese teams, of course, as EL is the strongest currently.
I think so, too. But you know what? Let's talk about match number 1. We're going to go ahead and introduce to you the Super Noobs. The Super Noobs. From what I hear, they're not actually noobs. And from what we've seen on the very, very first day when they played, they're not actually noobs.
No, absolutely not. They've got some really strong players. Ironhide, Ricky, these players really stick out to you. Sunbo, we've seen them before. But it's, again, a newer team to the Gold Series, so we don't have that much information about this team yet, as well as how their playstyle works and which players they're really sticking with and which ones are the real playmakers. But, kind of stick with us and learn with us how this team is going to work through the rest of the season.
And like we said, they've already shown us some really strong games. And they are, I know they've been playing in ESL, and Team Efficiency had played them before. So we're going to have to see how these 2 teams will fare up against each other here in the Gold Series.
That's right. Super Noobs, I feel like they might be able to take this, but Team Efficiency is a really strong team. You've got those players in there like Dexter, D-Juice, Deathskies, Elite, Ma. Some of these newer players making a lot of appearances like Skell. We saw a lot.
We have been seeing him quite a bit, and Team Efficiency, they are dangerous. Look how incredibly dangerous that red panda looks.
Dangerous and efficient. That's what we always got to say about this team.
Sure are, and I know they've been really, really struggling a lot in the last season. But as the meta changes and tanks changes, and basically each team, what they need to do is kind of figure out what works for them. And I know they're struggling, but I have all faith that they'll be able to do well today.
Yeah, so do I. We have our maps, our official maps for this this first matchup, and I guess we're going to take a look at those in just a moment.
Yep. Let's see what maps we got. We got Himmelsdorf, Ghost Town, Cliff, and Prorovka.
Close enough.
I said it.
You did it.
And then the tiebreaker map will be on Steps.
That's right. So Steps going to be the final map if we get to it. The two most popular maps we've seen in this new season are definitely Himmelsdorf and Ghost Town, which isn't that incredibly different from what we saw last season. We're also still seeing Steps be played quite a bit, which is one of our more popular maps from last season as well. So even though the meta has changed and we're using bigger and very different tanks from what we used before, we're still seeing the same kind of maps overall.
Also, Cliff has been chosen so far as the tiebreaker map very, very often, but this is the first time we're actually seeing it as map number 3, and there's definitely a chance that we will be able to cast some games on that.
At least at the very least, we will see one game on Cliff today. Even if it ends up being a 5-0, we'll get that very last game on Cliff. So we'll get to explore that map now a little bit more in depth. It is an older map, but we didn't use it at all last season. So if you've been following the Gold Series from last season, you didn't see it at all. And now it's with new tanks and this new esport that we're in now.
Yep, there we go. So, all right, first map, like we said, it's on Himmelsdorf. I think the teams are now getting ready to play, and I think they are ready. So we're going to go straight into set number 1. Welcome back to Himmelsdorf, everyone. New Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency, set number 1. And we've got the Super Noobs are going to be on the attack first.
That's right, so let's take a look at these tank lineups, Susie. As far as autoloaders go, we're going to just see 2 50Bs on the side of Team Efficiency, but Super Noobs are running just 1. They're also bringing a Tank Destroyer and an IS-4. And so on the attack, that IS-4 is probably going to be that tank that wants to go in there and side scrape and hide in the corner cap. G-Juice is on the 1390, whereas Hien is bringing the T-54 lightweight as the filler tank, so they're going to be able to scout with that a little bit. And we do see Tang Hungru running the 215B for that extra damage, as long as they can keep him safe.
Yeah, I mean, that thing is dangerous. Shoot, Team Efficiency is also... No, they need to be careful of Team Efficiency because they're the ones who are the efficient and dangerous ones.
That's right. Well, Team Efficiency on the defense here, setting up a very quick bottom push.
Ooh.
A little bit of an attempt to kill a tank there, but a missed shot. We only saw it for a second, so I'm not sure who dodged that shot. But a scary moment nonetheless.
All right. I like the 215B is running with the E100s, obviously trying to get that protection so he can do the damage that he can.
Yeah.
And I mean, all 4 of these tanks here, you can see by the between the castle and the courtyard, their 6th sense are going off. And like we said, guys, if the name's in yellow, that means that they've been spotted.
Yeah, and be very aware of the movements here that we're seeing from the Super Noobs. Wow, a lot of damage going to Ironhide, and he's their key tank right now. You do not want to lose him early on.
You absolutely do not. He just needs to be positioned better if he wants to, keep his HP up. It's a tanky tank there.
A lightweight taking a ton of damage as well, going down to 861 hit points. But here comes that IS-4. He's going to side scrape in here in that corner cap, like we always like to call it, and he's going to just try to set up his position here. The E100s, however, are going to try to just get that timer reset carefully. If they get a good direct hit, they might be able to, nearly eliminate Ironhide. But even some bounce damage might actually, just reset the cap, which is the most important thing. They're not looking to kill him, but they do want to reset it. That's
right. Well, he's in a pretty good position, like you said. Base capture, does stop. It seems he has left his position. Okay, he's going to come back and try for it again. It is pretty dangerous, though, considering how low he is on HP. He's only at 940 hit points left.
He has to make sure he's perfectly positioned, because if he is, even with 2 hit points left, he could just simply have those shots ricochet off of him for no damage. That's why he keeps repositioning himself and sometimes just stepping out of the border to reposition. I just taking a shot here, not going to actually damage him though. His positioning is too good. And this is actually a bit of a quicker start than what we normally see on Himmelsdorf, but a nice position, I have to say, for Super Noobs. I like where they're set up here. And they have that tank destroyer to back them up as well if it comes to a big, brutal fight, if Team Efficiency wants to try to brute force their way in here to stop the base capture.
Okay, well, right now, I'm holding my breath. I'm trying to see exactly what they're trying to do. Nomad and Dexter, they're going to come around. They're right around the corner from where Ironhide is. Ironhide cannot hold this base capture, however. He knows, I mean, he's been spotted. He needs to get away or else he's just going to get blown up.
Yeah, he can hear those E100s. He backs off and Nomad takes damage. Ironhide looks like he's going to go back into that corner cap. Notice he doesn't go at the very edge, but actually at an angle.
Ooh, Nomad does take a really good hit, but there's Kong-san and Ricky right behind him. They're going to try to see if they can give him that cover that he needs right now to continue that base capture.
Oh, they're actually doing such a great job
of
it.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah. And this is why we always talk about how it's so important to watch that castle side ramp, because someone's going to come down with an autoloader and blow you up. You have to be really aware of that.
Yep, Dexter needs to get out of there. Oh, he's taking some critical hits as he inches away, but doesn't quite make it as Ricky just shoots him right in the face.
Look at this. Skell is doing a ton of damage on support over here on that 50B. And now he's got to reload, so he's giving them a lot of free room to work with. 20 seconds to go on that base capture, and Idis has taken a lot of damage. Ricky's going to step out and take that one shot. D-Juice dies, meanwhile, on the 1390.
All right, I think right now the Super Noobs, basically their idea is just to eliminate their opponents. There's only 4 members of Team Efficiency left. Make that 3, basically, and it's not worth for them to sit in a capture point and possibly get hit.
Yep.
Griffs goes down as well. Skell and Maw are the only 2 left with 6 full members of Super Noobs right now on the hunt.
Ricky wants to take that shot there on Maw to finish him off. It's Hien, in fact, that does it. And Skell is on reload, tries to go for a ram kill here.
Oh, goodness.
He may get it, but it's not going to matter in the end, and in fact, he does not.
He does not, and Super Noobs go ahead and take game number 1.
And, pretty spectacular fashion, really aggressive push to that capture point, that corner cap, and they were able to secure the spot for long enough to where when Team Efficiency came to engage, they didn't take a favorable engagement. Other things to note are that Team Efficiency did push the south early, because that is where we're seeing most capture attempts in the Asia League right now, but Super Noobs didn't go that way, so they kind of had somewhat of a positional disadvantage from that as well.
All right, well, Team Efficiency gets to test their luck now and go on the attack next. Do you think they're going to try to... Obviously, they went down south, right, in hopes to catch out Super Noobs. Do you think they'll actually go that way?
I think that the Team Efficiency will actually go for the similar corner cap, just because that's what we saw most from them last season on this map. Even though things have changed slightly, and teams like Karen Tigers and EO Gaming, like the top teams right now, are starting to shift towards that railroad side capture point. I don't think Team Efficiency will. I think they're going to try to stick with what they know here.
Yeah? Okay. Well, hopefully Super Noobs doesn't know that about them and they don't get caught out, but we'll just have to wait and see. It looks like they are going to choose their tanks now. They've obviously switched sides and want to make sure that the tanks are optimal for the side that they're on.
Yeah.
And
if we see an IS-4 when we get into that game, you'll know. I mean, there's a high chance that Team Efficiency is going to try this. Doesn't always necessarily mean that that's the case, but
that's true.
High chance. I don't think Team Efficiency will be running a tank destroyer either. I think they're more comfortable with running an autoloader on the high ground on the castle side to support, just like what we saw from Super Noobs. Did a ton of damage because Team Efficiency was occupied with that IS-4 and did not see that autoloader come around the ramp. And it basically got a free kill and survived, which obviously you would love to avoid if you can. And then you're a tank down, and they already have a good position. The capture point's at like 40 seconds. You really start to get a little bit stressed out, and you have to make a big move.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to be switching out some players. D-Juice is going to come out, and we're going to put Spawnster in for Team Efficiency. So that'll change things up a little bit.
That's right. It's one of their newer players, so we'll see how he fares today. Already we've seen a lot of great plays from Skell, so really liking this player quite a bit.
I do too. Now let's talk about Super Noobs then on the defense. I mean, what are some tanks do you think that we'll be able to see here?
A lot of E100s definitely heading towards that that corner cap point, because obviously they're one of the best tanks at denying that. And they can do some ricochet damage. They can reset the point. They can take a lot of abuse themselves, and they're not bad at just sitting at a stationary target like the IS-4, which we have seen many times in the past. We have seen a few teams even try to sneak the 1390 into that point. Something else that Team Efficiency might try, because they did run a 1390 in that previous game.
That is very true. All right, well, looks like everything is set. We did get the player swap in there. All the tanks are picked. And in just a second, we are going to go ahead and start game number 2. All right, guys, welcome to game number 2, Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency. And like we said, it has been swapped. Team Efficiency will be on the attack now.
So talking about Team Efficiency, they brought Sponster in on the 215B, which lets you know already that that's probably why he was switched in, because they didn't run a 215B last game. They're going to run him there with the E100s, the 50B, one E5, a Conquer, and a T10. Now, on the side of the Super Noobs, they're bringing 2 Conquers. They're really taking a page out of EL's book with this one, running that more standard composition, sacrificing an E100, but still bringing their Tank Destroyer, the 50B, and an IS-7 with an IS-4 this time. So 2 of those big, beefy tanks. So they're actually ready to hunker down and defend this point.
All right, well, here we can see Team Efficiency. They're going to head up into the castle area. Got to see which way they want to go. Skill on the Conqueror, heading over to the courtyard. But here's Itis on the T10.
Yep.
All by himself. Yeah, he's over by the railroad tracks. He just kind of wants to peek over and take a look where Super Noobs are going to be right now. And I have a feeling if he does peek out, though, he may be surprised by a lot of shells to the face.
He's got to be careful about how far he peeks over there. But I think he's got a good idea of where he needs to be. Now notice the E100s on the side of Team Efficiency are going to protect that 215B. There's one of their damage dealers, and they're up there on the castle side, waiting for an opportunity. Right now, it's all about the scouting here for Team Efficiency before they commit to a move. Obviously, they're better positioned to push for capture point number 2, that corner cap, but with where they're positioned right now, they do have the ability to rotate back. It's all about trying to get an early advantage here. But Super Noobs, very patient. Everything is set up exactly as you'd expect. The IS-4 instead of E100s to deny that corner cap. They do have one E100, of course, somewhat nearby.
All right, well, here's Skill. He's going to just hide in this little broken down building here. See if he can get some damage done. The Conqueror, I mean, for a tier 9 tank, is still an incredibly strong tank.
Yeah, if you can protect it, especially. You can really compare it to the 215B. Obviously, it has 600 less hit points, less plating. Is obviously basically slightly worse in every other way, but it's like having that extra damage on your team. And when it comes to a straight fight, it's not a bad tank to have with you.
All right, 7 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, and Skill decides to leave that little area. He's going to go into the courtyard. As the members of Team Efficiency, they're looking for a way, and they're trying to figure out what the best course of action is for them to attack.
Yeah, it looks like they're really kind of leaning towards capture point number 2. Now, obviously we talked about this a lot last week. I'm going to talk about it again. With the change to the meta, this map is being played very slowly because you have so much more time to work with. And it's very hard with these bigger, heavier tier 10 tanks to, if you go for one capture point and fail, or things are looking bad, it's hard to switch. So you really have to commit. So you want to get all the information before you try to set up with your scouting.
Oh gosh, okay, here we go. We have this gang of heavy tanks. We've got the E100s, the E5, and the 215B. They're going to try for base capture number 2.
They're going to storm it right now.
They are going to storm it, but I think Super Noobs kind of has an idea. Nomad does get hit, but they're going to try.
Now notice the positioning here is really good for Team Efficiency. They're coming in a line, so Ironhide cannot actually hit anybody besides Dexta. Dexta can then move out of the way and allow his tanks to fire, and then get back into formation. They
are, and right now Ironhide is the only tank that's there. Dexta is going to start to cap this base.
He's taking a lot of damage, though.
He is. The 215B is going to go around the other way. See if he can hit the rest of Super Noobs from the other side. But while Dexta is baiting, it looks like he's baiting. Super Noobs right now try to hit him.
He's not getting a good trade here. The problem is that, you know, this is a good idea. This is a good move. But because Super Noobs figured it out so early, it was hard for him to kind of change the plan and retreat because they would have surrounded them. There's not a lot of space to move here. So he kind of had to commit, and now they're a tank down as he falls as the first.
Okay, Griffs and Nomad are still going to stick around here. Use the dead husk of their fallen comrade for protection, while Sponster on the 2-1-5 bead, he is going to come around and see if he can help out and surround the members of Super Noobs in the capture point.
Yeah.
Oh, Nomad, be careful,
so
man. He is taking so much damage. And I mean, the E100 is the one you bring in when you want all that extra HP, you know?
Itis gets a nice shot off here on Ironhide, all things considered. And he is set up on that other corner, but he's found now by that 50B.
Uh-oh. Ironhide. All right, let's go and see what Itis is. All right, maybe he can go ahead and do some damage to this IS-7.
It's going to be a tough fight for him, though.
They basically trade exactly the same amount, 400 and something, but Ricky says, nope, stop hitting my friend.
Yeah,
and
Ricky takes a lot of damage for that. Sponster is punishing him pretty hard.
Oh,
but
gosh.
It's now going to be basically a 4v2 here where they've isolated Nomad and Grift. Maw is way too far away, and he's on reload.
He is. That was exactly as you expected it, as you saw 4 members of Super Noobs come in and surround just 2 members of Team Efficiency, and now they are down to 3 players, while Super Noobs have all 7 left.
It's never a good sign when the defense at 4 minutes left is hunting down the attacking team. They're hunting them down, chasing them. They want to end this. They want to get off Himmelsdorf and go into map number 2.
That's exactly what it seems like as Sponster goes down, and now they're on the hunt to see where the rest of these tanks are. Maw, very low.
Yeah, he prevents the 7-0 with that 1 kill.
Wow.
It looks like he's going to die on the other side of things. Skell will too to this IS-7. And it is going to end up being a 2-0 lead here. Super Noobs, the kings of Himmelsdorf, before we go into Ghost Town.
Yikes. All right. Well, I mean, congratulations to Super Noobs playing super aggressively, like you said, but showing us some good games, good decision making, and really knowing where their opponent was. Now we're going into Ghost Town.
That we are, and you know, that 2-0 lead definitely gives you a big morale boost, especially winning that quickly and that easily. Himmelsdorf, a map that normally takes a long time and it's usually pretty draining. I feel like Team Efficiency is probably going to take this and think that was really frustrating to lose that quickly, but at least we don't have to dwell on this. We can move into a second map now, and that's one of the cool things about this new format is there are 4 maps every time, so they can just jump right into Ghost Town and you know, kind of change their mindset, try to tie it up 2-2 before they go into the third map.
That is very true, and it looks like here Team Efficiency will be on the attack first this time, and so maybe they can redeem themselves somehow and you know, get that jump start to try to even out the score again.
Sure, I think it's really important that they do take this win on attack because this map is just, you know, very frustrating for the defense at times. So if they can get that win on the attack, then maybe they can take that momentum back into their hands. And then, you know, if they can win on the defense as well, that would be really phenomenal. But if they lose on attack, I feel like this could end up being another 2-0 on Ghost Town, just simply because of the way the team morale will be after this this sort of loss for Team Efficiency. Again, it's kind of tough to, I mean, you know, obviously these teams will play each other in other leagues, but it's tough to be kind of losing to the new kid on the block.
Right. I mean, new to the Gold Series.
Yeah.
They're not super new. I keep saying super now because their name is Super Noobs, and I hear myself doing it. But anyway, let's take a look at Ghost Town. I think that'll keep me from saying super again.
Well, there's nothing super about this map except
Super Ghosts.
Super Ghosts. This map is obviously a map that's been very figured out. I talk about this every time we play on it. It's been played in every single match we've had so far in Season 2, and it's just very popular. Teams like it. They feel comfortable here. Because the attack side has such a you know, crazy win rate on this map, I feel like teams feel comfortable that because they know the map so well, they can probably get one win on the attack no matter what. But the reason why it's tough for the defense is because there's 2 routes of attack. You can see them basically if you take a look at the map above. Is if you go to the north side, you can take that way. It's pretty safe to get there. And if you go that way and your opponent expects you to go for the center cap, then they're in the wrong position. And the same is true reversely. Whereas if you rush for that center capture point and set up defensively there, it's tough for the defending team to get there unless they kind of expected you to do that. But it's 50-50. That's why you've seen a lot of these teams, like Karen Tigers especially, running TEPCO on the T54 lightweight to get up there, find out what's going on ASAP. It's really important.
Yep, and I'm really excited to see how these two teams are going to play on this map as well. I'm just reading the lobby chat. It looks like tanks have been picked for both sides, and I like how they're just trying to hurry them up. But you know, picking tanks is not a hurrying kind of process.
Sure. You know, many choices in life are difficult, and what tank you're going to pick on the first, especially the first game on a new map, is definitely tough. You got to make sure you have the right players. You know, we saw even Sponsor switch in just specifically to run that 215B. You know, that's the kind of thing that these teams that have the bigger rosters have the flexibility to do.
They sure do. All right. Well, it looks like they're just going to get everything set up. Very standard play. I'm very thankful that we haven't had many technical difficulties.
Yeah, today's been very smooth. You know, it was one of our fastest starting games and maps that we ever had. Not the length of the games, which was also quick, but like getting into the first game was very smooth and easy.
So I definitely commend these two super teams.
You're super today.
I'm so super, guys. No, but yeah, I commend both teams for being ready and, you know, on the ball. I think that's really great for a online tournament. You make our lives easier.
You make our lives easier. You make the fans' lives easier. Everybody involved, the WGL staff, the production staff. It's like these guys are ready. It's really awesome. It's just awesome.
It is really awesome. And you know what else is more awesome?
Tell me, Susie.
I think going into Ghost Town for game number 3 is pretty awesome. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Here we are on Ghost Town, Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency, set number 3. And like I said, Team Efficiency are going to attack first.
That's right. So let's talk about these rosters. Team Efficiency is running a roster with 1 autoloader, 2 E100s, an IS-7, an E5, then a Conqueror and a T-54. Now, this leads me to believe that they're going to be kind of doing the sort of somewhat middle-of-the-road push where they kind of eventually end up at the northern capture point but go through the city slowly. Now, what we're seeing from the Super Noobs with those 215Bs is that they want to actually take a big fight, but they need to protect them. With only 1 E100, positioning is important. No T-54 lightweights, only the T-54 medium, which Nomad is on, so scouting is going to be a bit tough for both these teams. And Super Noobs run 2 Conquerors, so again, they want that fight, it looks like, based on the comp they've built here.
Well, I mean, I've been watching Super Noobs so far, and fight they enjoy. They love getting up in your face, and so I think that's something we might be able to see again, even though they are on the defense.
So far, Team Efficiency is actually kind of hovering around capture point number 2 in pairs, really. But no big commitment yet.
All right, if you guys look on your mini-map, you can see, yeah, everyone is pretty spread out, but holding their own. They want to make sure that everything is covered. Now, Team Efficiency, they're going to group up together. We've got the 2 E100s, again, for that HP, you know, like that's for the longevity.
Yeah, that's true. They do a ton of damage if they connect as well, and they're great tanks. They're the likes of which you just didn't find in the old format. I think the closest thing is an IS-3, but I mean it's not as niche, it's not as specific as the E100s are. Mm-hmm. Even if you look at the shape of them, you can see how they're designed to kind of ricochet as well. If you look at the top of the tank, how it's made, just looking at where things are being set up, it looks like Team Efficiency is actually going to finally push towards the north. I think they're trying to kind of bait an engagement, but Super Noobs is not going to take the bait. They're very confidently and comfortably waiting here.
Yeah, Ricky is, I mean, from this angle, you can see that he's by himself. There is Ironhide right behind him to see if he can give some cover fire, but you know what? So far, very patiently done. And I like the fact that Team Efficiency, they're not being too hasty right now. Yeah. Even though Super Noobs might try to be baiting them out. Ooh, shots traded, but no one's been hit.
I mean, if you want to take a look at the scale of these tanks, by the way, I'll hold that thought. Gonna have a bit of a fight here. Skell is actually going to try to fight a 1v2 battle and have to back out. I was going to say, if you want to look at the scale of how big these tanks are, those are automobiles right next to them on the ground. These tanks are huge. Here comes a big move by Team Efficiency with these E100s, but there's tanks in waiting.
There are tanks in, oh gosh, there are a couple tanks waiting. Dexter is going to take a shot.
Notice how with those E100s, they look away after they fire because they're most vulnerable when they're looking right at their target. See that? That's where Sponsor took 1,200 damage when he was looking right at Sunbow.
Gosh.
It's tough, and this is a bad position. They're actually taking a bad trade here.
And again, it looks like Super Noobs, like you said, they just want to take the fight to them. They are a super aggressive team. This Batshot, fast and mobile. He's gonna try to do as much damage as he can. Dexter does go down, and he is the second casualty for Team Efficiency.
Look at how Sunbow is rotated back to safety behind the E100, and also this Conquer, which isn't going to give that much support, but it's just that extra little bit. And this is how you use the 215 in a map like this. You protect it, allow it to do its full damage. Grifts is toast. He is totally surrounded.
Gosh, that was awful. They got out of position. Team Efficiency, as soon as they lost control of what they were going to do and their objective, Super Noobs were able to surround them, completely lost their positioning, and eventually got blown up. And here's Itis, I mean, on the IS-7. Yes, it's a heavy, heavy tank. It's mobile. But against 4 tanks coming at you, I don't make that 5. I don't think that they're going to be able to do much here. Ricky does take some damage.
Yeah, he's not in the best position this time, but there's no support tanks with him to block for him.
I mean, Ma is trying to do the best as he can to see if he can stop any of this, but I don't think a 5v1 is going to really do him any favors.
He's also on reload for a long time. Kong San is going to be able to hit him even from the low ground. And the T-54 medium all alone, Nomad to the south. He can't even try to run away and survive because they're on attack. So it looks like he's just going to try to get into a good position to get 1 kill before he goes out, but it's not even going to happen.
No, absolutely not. And Nomad does go down on that T-54. Super Noobs go ahead and take game number 3. What an aggressive team.
Well, when you protect your 215Bs like that, that's just basically what happens. And we saw it several occasions where Sunbow got really low and then got pulled to the back. They saved these tanks. It's really comparable to how we saw some teams in the Tier 8 meta use 5100s on this map, the AMXs. When you see 5100s, you think, that's scary, that's risky because those tanks are vulnerable. But if you protect them well, it means you're kind of looking for that fight. It means you're looking for that extra damage, and they used them very well. They also had those Conquerors for that extra damage as well.
Like you said from the get-go, you were like, Conquerors, it looks like they're looking for damage. I mean, this is a team who's on the defense. They're the ones who are supposed to be patient and waiting to be attacked. But they're like, nope, we're not having any of that. Before you attack us, we're going to attack you. And it worked out great. The moment Team Efficiency just kind of lost their focus on what their objective was and which base they were going to go capture, it just seemed communication got lost somewhere. And
there was definitely some disarray, and you could see that Super Noobs was no stranger to defense against that sort of position. And they had the better fight, which is basically what that game came down to, because it wasn't about indecisiveness, I feel, so much from Team Efficiency as much as Super Noobs knew the right targets. Their focus fire was good. Their protection on the 215Bs, that's the risk they took. And they protected that, it was almost like they were protecting a baby. Those 215 twins that did all that massive damage. You protect them, they do your damage, and then you get an advantage. And even if they die later, you're fighting a 7v4 fight, which is basically what we saw there. And then they isolated and killed the rest of those tanks one by one.
They did. So going up against a team like Super Noobs, it's just super, gosh, I need to say stop saying super. Going up against a team like Super Noobs, who are extremely aggressive, what can Team Efficiency do? What do they need to be equally aggressive?
I think that maybe, I think the better thing to do in this case is maybe even taking another IS-7 or something like that to make your team a little bit beefier. for these types of
I
pushes.
mean, you already have the E100s,
Yeah.
so I mean, how much more beefy can you get?
Well, you know, the E100s are, you know, vulnerable when they actually are looking directly at their target, which is what we saw there, actually. I think it was Dexter who actually ended up getting caught, like, looking at his target, or there was a tank that was able to hit him right on his turret, right directly in the center, which is where they're most vulnerable. So that's a scary thing to keep in mind. I think it was just better play overall by Super Noobs. I don't think compositionally there's any problems with team efficiency. We're going to switch sides anyways now, and team efficiency is going to be on the defense. So I think the onus now is on Super Noobs, how they want to approach the attack. Based on what they showed us in that last game, and based on what they stylistically showed us even on Himmelsdorf, I think they're going to rush the center cap and capture point number 2 and try to set up the defense there and fight there. I don't think they're going to slow push as much as team efficiency did.
I think they're just going to fight anywhere. If capture point number 1 in the middle doesn't work, I think they would just go ahead and push capture point number 2. Wouldn't even surprise me if they pushed both at the same time.
That would be crazy. That would be a bit risky, as team efficiency has been working as a unit in this series. So they might get caught if they do that. But hey, their fights are good. They're not. I don't know if they'd say they're if they were outnumbered 2-1, they'd win the fights. But you know, they have been looking solid so far in these big engagements.
All right. Well, we will see how team efficiency and Super Noobs do in this next game. This is the last one on Ghost Town, right? Yes, Ghost Town. So let's go into game number 4. All right, guys, welcome to Ghost Town once again. Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency, set number 4. And like we said, Super Noobs are up 3 games to Team Efficiency 0, but they are on the defense. What can they do, Wolf?
Well, Super Noobs are running the same exact tank lineup. Looking at Team Efficiency, they've got Sponsor and Skell on 215Bs, so they're also going to be running a similar composition. They're bringing one E5 and one E3, as well as the T54 mediums. Looks like they're going to try to just meet the Super Noobs head on.
I think so. I mean, so far, Super Noobs have only shown us that they know aggression and they know how to like get right in your face. And Team Efficiency with this lineup, I mean, with that seems to be a lot of burst there. They kind of want to make sure that they're able to have that firepower as well.
They need to prioritize targets because, as you mentioned before, there's only one E100 for Super Noobs. That means the rest of their targets are very vulnerable. They've got 2 autoloaders and 2 215Bs. That just screams squishy targets, you know.
Right.
And they even have 2 Conquerors, so their composition, if focus fired properly, will start to fall apart very quickly. It does not have a lot of longevity. There's no IS tank, there's only one E100, and there's no E5 either. So let's see how the Super Noobs are able to engage us. They're setting up carefully, slower than I thought they would end up doing here.
All right, well, Idis on the E3, it's like a turretless, that's like a tank destroyer. I think that is their tactic here, is to see if they could try to blow up Super Noobs faster than they get blown up themselves.
If you hit any of these tanks, with the exception of the E100 with that E3, you know, you're going to do a lot of damage, perhaps even 2/3 of a tank's hit points. For example, if they caught Hien with that, that'd be death. So.
Okay, wow, yeah, you could see right now so many tanks of Super Noobs kind of grouped up by the school in the middle here. You're right, it looks like they do want to rush this middle capture point, and Team Efficiency seem to know that this is the tactic.
Yep, Ironhide takes a one shot here. Dexa takes a little bit less on the trade, but they are going to push in here and try to force this capture. Dexta is in a good position, but he cannot actually show much more than just the edge of himself here. As you can see, that blocks that shot.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. I mean, as the E100, the one with the most amount of HP, he has been chipped away quite a lot. The base capture has begun. It is at 83 seconds, but slowly, Team Efficiency are going to try to play a bit more aggressive here, too. I like this. They're kind of trying to match their opponent tank for tank.
Yeah. Ooh. Ironhead takes one small shot there, but I worry for Team Efficiency because in a moment NTLOC is going to be fully reloaded with that bat chat, and already you can see Tang Hung Roy has 3 shots left. Approaching this capture point can be met with sudden death, and some bow is even going to go behind. That is crafty. That is crazy, but it could, you know, it could really work out. It worked out on Himmelsdorf when he came down from the ramp.
All right, well, right now on your mini map, on the main map here, we can see Skell, Griffs, and Dexter all just keeping their position. On the mini map, however, you can also see the T-54s are going to try to come around, see if they can catch someone off guard. But so far, they're not having much luck at all.
Yeah, I worry if the T-54s run into the Conqueror and the 50B, though, because that could be a bad fight. The base capture also is starting to get somewhat low. Down goes Maw on one of those T-54s, and there's the second.
And Nomad, yep.
Bat Chat had a chat with those guys. Didn't end well.
No, did not. And now Team Efficiency are down. I mean, they started off pretty strong. They started off seeming like they wanted to take the fight to them. But again, positioning, and they've already lost two tanks to a full rostered Super Noobs right now.
Yeah, and it's their T-54, so it's not the worst tanks they could have lost, but it just means they're massively outnumbered. And down goes Dexter as well.
At any point, a 7v4 is not a place you want to be.
The only tank that's missing for Super Noobs is the Bat Chat, which already did all this damage. Down goes Skell. It's reloading, and when it's ready, which should be any second now.
Oh, Griffs takes so much damage. The E5 does go down. Spawnster, I mean, this is the 215B party here, but it looks like
Spawnster will win this fight,
but
you know, at what cost? He's the last tank standing with just simply 900 hit points left, and they are going to fall in 3 shots here. Down he goes, and Super Noobs will win the 4th game in a row, putting them on match point as we go into Cliffs.
Yeah. I really felt like Team Efficiency could have taken that last game. But Super Noobs are just proving to be a very well-coordinated team, and they're not missing any of their shots.
No, not really. I question the attack there from Team Efficiency into that defensive position. They didn't know the exact position like we do, obviously. But you know, when the tank lineup is set up at that center capture point, it's hard to engage there without going around. And then by the time they sent their T-54s around, they were met by a Bat Chat and a Conqueror, which is just going to beat them, especially with that focus fire most of the time. Now we're going into our newer map, Cliffs, and I'm hoping that Team Efficiency has been really training and prepping for this map, because this could be their opportunity to get a level up on the competition and be like, well, we lost those 2 maps that everybody knows, that everybody plays, that we see in every single series in Season 2. But we know Cliffs more than anybody, you know, or we've got some sort of special strat on this map that we can bring out.
Well, again, I mean, this is a map that's been around, and yes, we haven't had it in professional play.
And never on Tier 10s.
Yes, never on Tier 10s for Gold Series, for sure. But, I don't know, I worry for them. I'm like secretly a fan, because I really like Red Pandas. I actually went to go see Red Pandas. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I went to China, and I went to go see Red Pandas.
Oh, cool.
They were just as adorable as their mascot, except the ones I saw didn't have the cool TE necklace on them.
Did they have guns? No?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I don't think guns were allowed in China for their pandas.
Well, I mean, they could have had it secretly stashed. How do you think the Team Efficiency panda broke out of the zoo with guns?
Because that one was the gangsta one with the TE necklace
That's
on
right.
it. Okay?
He was like, I'm a TE fan. I got guns. I'm getting out of here. Got to go support the team.
All right. Well, you know what? We've been talking about pandas. We're going to talk about Cliffs. So here is a nice little video about the map that we're about to see.
Oh, it's the lighthouse. Don't be confused. It's not the lighthouse from Mines. But
oh my gosh, maybe it is on the other side.
It could be. You know, we talk about the potential of these maps being aligned all the time. Only Wargaming knows for sure. But let's talk about this map, as it is one of our newer maps. There are, obviously, as you would expect, 2 capture points. Now, the cool thing about this map is, somewhat similar to Lakeville, there are big roads and streets that are the long way and the path less traveled that you can take to get to those capture points. But most of the action happens in that center point where those mountains are. If you look at capture point that's on the right side, that little area over there is where a lot of fighting is going to happen. And if you can break through there, or if you go on the road from the right side, there's going to be a lot of tanks set up in between those 2 capture points on that ridge. So a lot of fighting is going to happen on the right side of the map, not so much the left.
All right, and on this map, I mean, it kind of reminds me of Mines, like we had said before, especially with that lighthouse and all. The type of tanks that we can expect to see on here?
I would expect that we're probably going to see mostly heavy tanks with those supporting mediums. T-54s might be the tanks that we see lining up at the back. We might see a Conqueror, slide in there. And then for damage, you're gonna have E5s and E100s most of the time, and the 215Bs, might make an appearance, but you have to be careful. Sorry, I was looking at that map very intently.
Yeah.
You have to be really careful about how you position them, because obviously they can be vulnerable, but there are ways to hide them and protect them through that little valley with the little mountain sticking up.
All right, well, we will see how they utilize the terrain here. We are ready to go into game number 5. Welcome to game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. We have Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency. Super Noobs are up 4 to Team Efficiency's 0, and this could be match point, like you mentioned, Wolf.
Well, contrary to what I said before, we're actually going to be seeing mostly medium tanks.
Oh, wow,
Which is, not really, from what I've studied on this map, not as normal as seeing some of the other, larger tanks. But we're going to see a bunch of Object 140s and an STB apiece for these two teams. Big difference is going to be in the autoloader. NTLC is on the 25-ton Bat Chat, and we have Maw on the 50B. 254s apiece. This is one of our most similar tank lineups that we've seen in this tournament. And let's see how this one engages. Looks like Super Noobs is running. This is going to be a brawl.
I think it is, and this is exactly how I would expect Super Noobs to try to finish off this game. Everyone is being spotted now. You can see the yellow names popping up left and right. Oh my gosh, they're just going to shoot at each other. This brawl, who is going to come out of it a winner?
Well, Team Efficiency does have the high ground advantage on the right side, from their perspective, but of course on the left side from their perspective, Super Noob should have an advantage, but already a kill here on Hien.
That was very well done. I was watching this little interaction going. The focus fire on Hien caused him to just drop down. This is exactly what Team Efficiency needs to do, is pick one tank and focus fire on them. I mean, we've seen EL Gaming do this many times, and it works. This is what Team Efficiency needs to do.
Yep, this is EL Gaming's kind of trademark style, is their coordination being used to great fruition. Super Noobs is trying to disengage here after they've taken a huge loss, but I just don't think it's going to actually be enough. They're now down 2,000 hit points. Let's see if they can turn this fight around.
We will see. Yeah. Oh, Dexter from the back. He's going to snipe off and kill off a tank.
It's a 5v4 right now, but this could be turned around. The Bat Chat is back online. Ricky kills Maw, and that Bat Chat is so important right now. It's the most critical tank.
Ricky does go down. Dexter goes down, but it is a 3v4 with 2 of Super Noobs under 200 HP.
Yeah, and with this new format with the 10-minute time limit, it's going to be so tough for them to actually outlast this tank.
No, but again, this focus fire, they are doing an incredible job. One by one, killing them off. Ironhide is the last one left. They just need to take one of those objects and go find him now, Ironhide.
The scary thing is Nomad should really be the one who finds him. Put Nomad at the front. Okay, they are repositioning, because Nomad is the one that can eat a shot and live. The rest of them will die. They're actually just going to carefully find this round. Ironhide's going to get one shot and then go down.
Oh, there we go. And Team Efficiency does take the win. They went ahead, and I love that brawl. I loved that brawl.
You
so
like
much.
watching those fights so much.
I do.
The Bat Chat was the key, but it was isolated and stuck, and they focus fired it. Well, they focus fired down one object first, and then they had the tank advantage, and then they focused down the Bat Chat. They weren't able to kill it until the very end, but because the Bat Chat was so threatened, it had to stay back at all times, couldn't do its damage. That meant they were down an autoloader, essentially. Their positioning was good, the coordination was good, the focus fire was good. And I think this my theory on this game, looking at it, from the outside looking in, I don't think Super Noobs expected Team Efficiency to meet them with the same sort of engagement.
Yeah.
We might see both teams switch their rosters according to this first game on Cliff, to kind of counter what we saw. So we might see this crazy lineup next game. The other thing we might see is if they both just go, no, I mean, like if you're Super Noobs, they might say, oh, well, we barely lost. We kind of messed that up. Let's try it again. And Team Efficiency might be thinking, well, we could do the same comp and win again if they do the same thing. So I think we're going to either see something drastically different and really weird from both sides, where they're trying to counter that composition, and they end up having to fight each other with, not the counter to what their opponents are actually doing, or we see something really similar in game 2.
I kind of want to go with similar. I think regardless of which side they're on, I think, number one, this win must have been great for team efficiency in terms of morale.
Yeah, it's their first win.
If they're able to win with it, I mean, it's not like they were trying to capture any bases or anything like that. It was just a full-on brawl, and that's what they expected Super Noobs to do. They came in with it, and they did it. And
good prep, good execution.
Hey, if it works, then do it again.
Yeah. That's how the saying goes. So, looks like the game is pretty much set.
I think so.
Getting closer to being set at the very least. The last of tanks from Team Efficiency being picked right now.
Yes. Something about... Oh, I don't know. Well, anyway.
Looks like they're ready.
Yes.
In just a second, we'll be jumping into that game. Can Team Efficiency bring it back? Now, best case scenario, they go to tiebreak, or they can win that 2 points, but they'll never get 3.
Could you imagine if they brought it all the way back?
It's never happened before, actually, in a Gold Series where someone is like 4-0'd and made it to tiebreaker. It's like never happened before. It could happen. Team Efficiency could do it. It's possible. Will we see history made today,
Oh my gosh, that would actually be really amazing.
Tell your friends it could happen. No promises, but it could happen.
All right. Well,
don't tell your friends that Wolf said it was going to happen because I said it could happen.
It could happen, not will happen. Semantics, man. We got to be careful about the vocabulary we use on this broadcast. But on that note, we're going to go ahead into game number 6. Game number 6 is underway. Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency. Super Noobs 4. Team Efficiency puts 1 on the board. And now they are on the defense.
So the tanks are, as you predicted, very similar. The difference being that we're going to see an STB. Actually, not the STB.
Batch shot on each side.
Yeah, the batch shots on both sides this time. But the T-54s versus the RU-251. Is what we're going to see as difference. The Super Noob running 2 Tier 9 tanks for that extra kind of staying power, if you will, whereas Team Efficiency is going to have that one tank that's a bit gimped. It's a Tier 8 tank, a fast tank, but with only 1,200 hit points, and it's not much of a fighter. So again, positioning is everything, but notice how they can use that RU-251, Dexta being the man of the hour, to go up and get very close to the front, get that positional advantage, and get some information.
Again, here we go. Full-on brawl right in the middle of the map as we expected this time around. And Team Efficiency does get the high ground one more time. Let's see if they can utilize this for, their advantage.
Looks like NTLC wants to get in a position where he's under the cliff formation, basically, so he cannot be hit. But he does not want to go up there. He was going up there for a second, which worried me. Because that's where he's most vulnerable. Now, Ma is trying to find a good shot. If he could hit those T-54s, he could do a ton of damage to that bat chat. Looks like it's going to take a little bit longer, though, for him to get that right angle to take a shot.
All right, Super Noobs definitely does not want this fight to go as it did last time. Skill does take a little bit. I think they focused on the last, and hopefully they'll be able to take him down.
As the last becomes the first to take damage, we see, again, better positioning this time for the Super Noobs as they're able to hide under this cliff formation, so Team Efficiency can't really hit them or get vision of them without revealing themselves.
Right, and at this point, Team Efficiency does not want to come down and fight them on the low ground right now. They're going to hold their high ground advantage. But here, you guys can see, Super Noobs are going to go around the lighthouse. In fact, they're going to try to change a position. Ma, pretty sure, is able to see this. He's going to take a look.
He needs to be careful, though.
Yeah, he's been spotted. He sees them all. They're like, oh, okay, guys, everyone is around here. Ma needs to pull back.
Yeah, this is not a good place to be.
He has 4 shots left.
This is not the castle on Himmelsdorf. This is a very, very risky place to be, especially when they have vision of you. Ma taking a lot of unnecessary damage there.
Yes.
And now Super Noobs are going to rotate back around.
And hoping that Team Efficiency fell for their trick, go the other way, and then attack them from behind.
Skell always in a good position here with his STB-1. He eats a shot from Dexta. Dexta far away, long-range RU-251 sniper. But I think Super Noob's thinking long range. Are you serious? Because that's not going to really phase them very much.
All right, Hien getting focused down. I like this.
lot.
Yes. This
Down
is
he
exactly
goes.
what they needed to do. And from all different angles, we're hit, and now he is down. If Team Efficiency can continue to do this again, here's Enlock. He's taking
getting focused
tons
again.
of damage. He goes down one by one. These tanks are falling, and this is working towards Team Efficiency.
This is Team Efficiency saying, like, this is our style, this is our arena, welcome, and please be destroyed.
And you were right. They must have really, really focused on this map.
Yeah.
And they studied this because they are in the perfect position, and they're being able to take those shots that they've wanted all along. Ironhide is going to be the next victim as he gets shot down.
Nomad nearly burns down, by the way. He
Wow.
goes down to 10 health, but during that bit of a glitch there, we actually will have Tanker be the last man standing, trying to get a lot of kills here. Nomad survives. Ma has all of his rounds available, and I think he will get the last kill.
I hope so. He's got 3 shells, but you know, it didn't even matter.
Down
He only
goes.
needed 1,
Yep.
and Team Efficiency does it. They take both games on Cliff, and that brings us to, I don't even know.
Prokharova as our final
Prokharova.
map.
And I said it. Prokharova. I can't think about this word anymore.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway.
We made it to the 4th map, and this means Team Efficiency has that chance. That chance, I said, you know, could it be the first time, like the first 0-4 to 4-4, the reverse sweep?
The reverse sweep.
They could even win the tiebreaker. It's possible. Turned it around. I think it was a mistake after game 1 for Super Noobs to challenge Team Efficiency in their arena, where clearly they were comfortable fighting, and the focus fire we saw from Team Efficiency was just way better. We saw some crazy attacks. The Bat Chat running into 2 tanks alone and getting blown up was just simply just not, I mean, it's just not correct.
Yeah.
You know, they had vision of those 2 tanks. He tried to run in, I guess, try to burst them down with some support, but there was no support. And Team Efficiency got an early lead, and then just kept focusing down at any tanks they had in vision range.
That was so well done. That was really, really well done. And wow. All right, so now that we go into we had Himmelsdorf, Ghost Town, 2 more city-like maps. Then we had cliffs. That was kind of like mines. Still a lot of trees and, you know, the terrain working for your advantage. But now we're on a wide open map with just the what is it? The railroad track.
Yeah, the railroad
and
tracks
the
and
main
the
road.
little bump, you know, hill, the little main road over there where there's hills and a little bit of trees. So it's hard to actually transverse any of these locations on the left and right. And probably in a minute we'll get a look at the map so I can talk about it a little bit more specifically. But if you've been following this league, you know that this map is somewhat similar to Steps, except that when you make a choice, you get locked down. There's not as many rotations available. There's a small little village in the middle of the map as well that's missing off of Steps. That kind of terrain is available. We don't see it used very often, but it looks like we are going to take a look at that map.
All right, let's take a look. Here it is. Prokharova. Gosh, I had it.
You really got to get this down, Susie.
I will. I will. We still have plenty more days and plenty more weeks. I will get it.
And it is one of the most popular maps.
Before the season's over, I will get it.
All right, so let's talk about these capture points, okay? 2 capture points, similar to Steps. Even if you took the terrain away from the minimap and you saw where the capture points were located, you might even think it was Steps. But in fact, it's a very different variation of that same sort of concept. Now, if you look at the map, you can see on the left side there's a road, which might seem like the most obvious way to get to the capture point because there are, you know, valleys and such like that on Steps. But actually, if you go down that road, you're vulnerable because you're visible, and then you get stuck, you get pinned down because you can't see where the defending tanks are firing at you from because there's a bunch of trees and brush on the way, as well as some little hills and bumps. Now, the capture point on the right side, you have to go over the railroad tracks to access, and let me tell you, going over those railroad tracks is not easy. They're raised, you cannot see over them. The whole railroad track itself is a big raised bump, so you can't see what's on the other side, so if you try to drive over it, you're very vulnerable. And then even if you do, you have to go through that very defensible city, little village location. So it's tough to attack. You usually end up going through the center, going through that little area, that little depression, if you will, where you can get through where your opponent's tanks can't see you as well. You're safe from any of those tanks on the railroad tracks on the road, and then you kind of end up choosing where you're going to capture from there.
Well, you said everything that I could have said, so...
I mean, I told you guys everything. I gave you the whole script for the whole map. every team like reads.
As he's talking, I'm like, I need to talk about the railroad. Oh no, he's already said it. No, he's already mentioned the town.
What I just said right there, like record it and put it on an audiobook, listen to it before you sleep, and next thing you know, you'll know how this map works back, forwards, and what's risky, what's safe, where you don't want to go. It'll probably help you fall asleep at night because it wasn't the most interesting way to describe it, but.
All right, but we will see. Let's not just talk about it. Let's actually watch a game on it. Here we go, guys. Set number 7. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to this map that I'm trying. Anyway, we're on set number 7, Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency. Super Noobs 4 to Team Efficiency's 2. And we're going to take a look. Team Efficiency are attacking first.
We have a very, 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 very different tank lineup from these two teams. Normally this map is dominated by Object 140s on both sides. And Team Efficiency does bring that with an STB, so their lineup looks normal. They've got 2 E5s and an RU-251. But Super Noobs are bringing 2 Bat Chats, 2 2-on-5Bs, 2 T-54s. They want to fight, and a fight is what they're going to get. And Dexa needs to be careful. He's getting a lot of information right now, but does not want to get too close, especially against a tank lineup he's up against. He will get blown up in seconds.
Wow. Yes, the fight, 2 Bat Chats. I mean, come on, the 2-on-5Bs. If this doesn't look like a gang formation, I don't know what is, especially on this map.
No, you're absolutely right. Well said.
What bullies, man?
They are going to be a group of bullies, and they're trying to catch these tanks and blow them up so quickly that they get a massive advantage. So far, unsuccessful, though. Ricky actually takes a shot, so does Nomad. But it's important. The most important thing for Super Noobs is these Bat Chats stay alive. They need to survive so they can do that autoloader damage.
Right, and they just, so they need to stay behind, make sure they're hidden and taken care of by the tankier tanks, right? Which Super Noobs, they don't really quite have.
Yeah. I mean, the tankiest tanks they have, funny as it is, are the 215Bs, which aren't that tanky. And they will do a lot of damage on their own as well. It's just that those Bat Chats are autoloaders. They can do consistent, quick damage and an escape. Because those tanks have basically no plating and no hit points, so they're going to die so fast. So you need to protect them and let them do their damage, and then they can skid away, because they're somewhat quick little skittish tanks. They're going to do the damage and get really shy and go hide somewhere.
All right, I'm surprised at how patiently Super Noobs are playing this. Almost like they're trying to bait Team Efficiency to come in. Ooh, Idas needs to get out of there on the E5. He is definitely taking... He's in the middle of the crossfire.
Yeah. Now, the way that we're seeing this formation for Team Efficiency is that they're going down the road path way, and they actually do kind of commit to this. They stay on the right side of it with most of their tanks, which means they're not going to get caught or stuck on the left side. The only tanks they have on the left side are using the road as coverage, the Object 140s and the RU-251 that Dex is on. Okay,
Skell needs to be careful. Again, he's getting focused fire down. Super Noobs have figured out that this is an effective way to kill a tank.
Yeah, already definitely the much better trades for Super Noobs. Not a single tank has died yet. None of them are really in lethal range, but Ricky is going to need to reload. This is the railroad track I was talking about, that little bump. For those wondering, as you can see, you can kind of hide behind it and then pop up and check what's going on, but that's where you're most vulnerable. So Ricky wants to stay back there. He's at the south, though, and there's no one really nearby. Just one Object 140, so he's just kind of down there scouting, making sure there's no big rotation by Team Efficiency.
Okay, the Bat Chat. I mean, this is like the 1390 from before.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little zippier. It's got very low armor, but highly mobile. It's one of the quickest medium tanks that we can possibly have.
It's really it's really quite strong, though. If it can find a target and lock it down, it's easier said than done most of the time.
Of course.
Now, just patience, pure patience here for Super Noobs. The clock is on their side.
Yep, 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Super Noobs knows that if they just let this run out, they win, and they go on with the 3 points today. But what is Team Efficiency going to do?
They don't want to win by tiebreaker either. They want to stop that from happening. If they're going to win, they want those 3 points. All right. A shot fired here, but does not connect. Ricky is getting dangerously close to being in range of some of these tanks. Now the E5s here obviously are going to be able to kind of take a little bit more damage than say a 215B. So that's another thing we didn't talk about too much in this fight, but that's the trade-off that Team Efficiency took instead of the autoloaders, as they brought no autoloaders to this game. We saw Dexta on the, if you look at the hit point side, he took a little bit of damage. Looks like he's having a battle here with NTLOC.
He is zipping on by. I mean, especially on a tier 8, a tiny little tier 8 like this.
You don't want to take that fight. You definitely do not.
Oh no, I mean I don't think his intent is to fight. I think his intent is definitely to just go around and see what's going on, see if he could shoot things from afar. You know, be that little sneaky ninja tank.
Yeah, the RU-251 is very quick, and it will sneak up on you. It will also sometimes outposition you in very rare cases win a fight, but not in this tier 10 meta. Dexta takes another shot.
Oh gosh,
one more will finish him off.
One more really will. He needs to get as much information as possible, see if he can lure.
Ricky, he's looking for it.
Oh, he is, and he's got 4 rounds left.
If Dexta gets into range, if he gets into his
and he's
line
been
of sight,
spotted. I mean.
Okay, it looks like Ricky just does not notice his exact trajectory. He's going to go for Sponster instead, who does eat 400 damage. 3 more shots will kill Sponster if he can actually line them up.
Itis sitting tight. He's just kind of, yeah, he's just sitting and waiting. This is definitely a different game from the Super Noobs than we have been seeing all evening.
Yeah, they really just don't want to fight Team Efficiency straight up. They're tired of doing that. It's not been working for them.
Well, the last 2 games, definitely not. But Team Efficiency, they're going to have to do something. We are down to 4 minutes left on this game timer. And this is about time they need to really make a decision on something. And all of their HPs are pretty low. They're cut down to half, maybe more.
They just haven't gained much ground is one of the problems in this game, is they just never were really able to get into an advantageous position over the Super Noob tanks.
Oh gosh, Maw is getting focused fired down.
And he's probably going to fall.
He is definitely going to fall there.
One more shot will do it. Can Tangerai get that? No, not. He's actually blocked by his own teammate here. Looks like they just don't have the shot on him because of that raised area with the tree and the rock.
Wow, Maw survives with 183 HP.
It's funny that no tanks are dead, except the sponsor just died, but the Super Noobs doubled the hit points of Team Efficiency. They've just taken that many better shots.
All right, well, Dexta is now in prime position to be eliminated. He does take a lot of damage there. Being on the high ground, he's going to lure out members of Super Noobs so that the rest of his team can possibly clean up shop, but I'm not sure if that's going to be...
The problem for Team Efficiency is even if they can survive here, they're like barely alive.
Yeah.
But they can't capture a point in 2 minutes and 45 seconds without a fight, and a fight is not going to go their way. Tangerai does take a little bit more damage, but down goes Maw. Itis looks like he'll be the next to fall.
Skell as well. Skell, there you go. He goes down. Itis, one more shot on this guy, and there he goes. It is down to Griffs and Nomad now, but I don't think a 2v7 is going to work, and Super Noobs most likely are going to take this game and call it a night.
Looks that way as Griffs now falls to very, very dangerous levels of health and is killed. Hien has found Nomad with Tangerai and Sunbo to support. Even going to go for the ram here for that extra damage. With that acceleration, that's going to be a good ram.
Boom!
And down he goes.
He goes down. Super Noobs does win game number 5. And they take the 3 points for the evening.
That they do. Team Efficiency put up a good fight on Cliffs, our newer map, showing that they can actually fight really well in those kind of scuffy big battles. We'd love to see them play on Mines and Steps, 2 other maps where we see that kind of battle happen a lot.
Again, I felt like they were a completely different team when playing on Cliff. And anyway, I'm glad they took the 2 games and that they'll claw their way back in this season. But that was an incredible series. We will see you guys in about 10 minutes, and we'll be back with EL Gaming versus the 2 Japanese teams. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I'm Luke Neller, and this is Best Replays of the Week. This week we have an E75 holding off a wave of enemies, the little tiger who can, and a fine display of scouting from the east. Let's take a look. The first replay this week is a textbook example of scouting from the SEA region. Banzai Attack takes the AMX 1390 onto the fiery Salient to show us how it's done. Banzai charges forward to catch the enemies crossing the railroad, opening fire as soon as the gun is ready. 3 shots and a quick retreat before the enemy artillery can lay in an accurate shot. The reload is a good time to quickly check the west, and then it's back to the center for spotting and skirmishing. It would be good to find a target for the remaining rounds, but the E75 is too tough and dangerous. A reload is his then. And anyway, it's not like a scout needs to fire. Spotting the enemies is quite enough. That does look tempting though. It's time to do some damage. The collision slows Banzai down enough for an enemy to get a shot in. However, payback is swift and deadly. Another shot is taken, rush into the E75's aid, but the results are worth it. Enough shells remain to finish off a T-32. The victory is pretty secure now, and Banzai is free to go hunting. The hunch about the SPG position is spot on. The rest of them are here. Fighting a rival AMX uses all remaining shells, so Banzai can't kill the last arty directly. So spotting it for allies will have to do. That just leaves the TD, which blows up moments later. Victory! A very nice display. The passive scouting was very effective, and the active hunting positively deadly. Well done, scouts! Next up, Mr. Wiegand drives a wall of steel called the E75 on Westfield. This tank is famous for its durability, but the enemies have a lot of hard-hitting Tier 10 machines in their lineup. Wiegand takes point and heads west. There's a large enemy force here, but the damaging hit is friendly fire from behind. Watch your shooting, team! Wiegand fights well, doing significant damage and surviving many shells. The allies aren't doing so well though, as they fall one at a time. Now the E75 is practically alone, holding off a third of the enemy team. The wreck of a fallen ally gives some much needed cover. A rival E75 charges down the hill, and Wiegand has to leave cover for a while to deal with it. Nice shot, but losing the last ally on this flank is a major blow. Wiegand is left facing 3 enemies alone, and now it's 2 against 5 for the whole map. There's nothing to be done but to dive in and try to even the odds. The first attempt goes badly, the intended target gets away, and the last hit point buffer is gone. That's better, 1 down, 2 to go. The remaining ally shows up and helps in dismantling the E50. It's 2 versus 3 now. All premium shells are gone, but the IS-7 is showing its weak side. 2 against 2. Hold on object, help is coming! Or not. Down. The E-75 reverses back into cover, but the enemies have decided to cap. Wiegand trusts that the enemies don't actually want to win with a cap, and it proves to be true. They are coming. And here's the first one. The AMX-30B loses the first exchange, but takes out Wiegand's trap. It's not repaired in time, and the next shot ends the game in a loss. Oh! But what a fight! You can't win them all. But Mr. Wiegand really gave it the old college try. Better luck next time, Steelwool. Confederates do their best regardless of the battle tier. Gorozias' Porsche Tiger is a little out of its league in the next fight, but it goes fearlessly after every target it can see. The map is Sacred Valley, and the Tier 9 encounter battle was fought on an EU server. There are only 4 bottom tier machines in the fight, and all the others are light and fast. But so what? Gorozias follows half of the team north and fires on the first enemy unfortunate enough to show itself. After a few exchanges, it's clear that the armor of the Tiger P means nothing against these opponents. On the other hand, the enemies don't seem to pay much attention to the bottom tier heavy. The Tiger's gun doesn't do much damage on this tier, but it has accuracy and penetration. Gorozias keeps hitting enemy after enemy, gaining no kills, but doing plenty of damage. and all of a sudden, there's just a single enemy left. Gorozaius dives in and scores the hit that ends the match. Victory! We can't claim that you carried the game, but that was the most damage done in the match. It was also a good example of the Confederate spirit. Well played. Next up, a crucial contribution. Lord JDK from the EU region does everything possible to carry the team on Live Oaks. Let's see how it goes. The matchmaker smiles and Lord ends up in the top bracket. The T-54 first prototype's engine is a little underpowered, but that doesn't stop it from taking point in the push for the town. This Cromwell seems a little suicidal, and its troubles are soon over. A little while later, another Tier 6 medium charges into close combat. What is it with these guys? The Churchill is the next to fall. This is all going rather well here in the city, but the enemies are breaking through in the south. Surprise! The Tiger II gives some trouble, but that's still 2 top-tier heavies taken out rather handily. The city is secure, and Lord races back to defend the cap circle. The low-accuracy gun is performing remarkably well at this range. No invader for you, Panther! Lord JDK is playing an amazing game, but the ammunition is starting to run low. The prototype carries only 34 shells, and most of those are now gone. Can the Soviet prototype beat the Chinese copy? Looks like it can! Another one bites the dust, but Lord is down to 80 shells and out of allies. The crew fight to the end, but without proper ammunition, they are doomed. It's a loss, but a heroic one. That really deserved to be a win, and so we'll recognize Lord JDK as the crucial contributor of the week. Maybe leave out the HE shells next time though, And for the last replay, we have a traditional Top Gun rampage. This time of the autoloader variety. Butter on Toast from the North American region heads on to Westfield and lets the AMX 1390 off the chain. Go get 'em! Butter sets up an ambush and waits for a suitable victim. This one's a little tough. How about these guys though? That's better. The AMX is a challenging target, but it dies soon enough. Did this type fall asleep? That was a bit of a slow start. 5 minutes in and no kills. You can do better than this, Butter. The next skirmish is pretty intense, and it finally gets Butter the first kill of the match. So there you are, minding your own business and reloading your gun when a tank charges down the hill out of nowhere. Boy, was that close. 4 shells loaded, and the cap needs to be cleared. Another ally dies, but who needs allies when you're going for the top gun? Let the killing spree commence. 1 down, 5 more to go. And that's the last ally dead. The endgame is 1 against 5. The enemy reset the cap themselves, giving Butter time for a reload. Let's see if the capper is still there. Yes it was. Where did the other one go? That artillery support makes this quite dangerous. Well, speak of the devil. Hello there. And another one. Bang! Bang! You as well. Bang! Bang! That's much better. 6 kills and 2 enemies to go. The tank wasn't spotted, so Butter stays in the bush for the reload. The last enemy tank shows itself before it's done, and so does the artillery. Splendid. Both enemies fire, and the SPG misses by a fraction. They do both miss though, and that means the game is over. Victory with 8 kills. Things picked up very nicely after the slow start. A nice Top Gun victory to end this episode on. Congratulations! And that's it for this week. A bunch of awesome games and enough action to sustain you until next time. What should be the secret word for today? Hey, what does the fox say?
Welcome back, everyone. After an amazing first series, we are back for 2 more for the evening. My name is Susie Kim. This is Wolf Schroeder, who is sitting next to me.
That's right. I'm sitting next to you. You're sitting next to me. We're sitting next to 2 Japanese teams about to go head-to-head versus EO Gaming, the toughest, strongest team in all of Asia. And, they've made the choice to commit to the Gold League, and that's going to be, where they dominated the last season. We'll see if these Japanese teams can make a dent. It's going to be starting with B Gaming up first, and then later on tonight we're going to have Karen Tiger. So that should be the premium, amazing match of the night.
Should be. And we're going to have to see how Karen Tiger are feeling because, man, we've been watching EL play all week long last week, and they're looking really, really good. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and introduce this team to you now. Here is EL Gaming. We have all the same guys from last season. Fox, Reflection, Nightmare Black, Nice. I mean, these guys, Spring, Flag, they're all
Blonde,
so
Red,
good. I can't even tell you who's better than the other.
We haven't really seen Shadows or Quay, our new players, join in just yet. But if it's, it's still working for you, if you're still crushing opponents, even with a new format, and you're not having any trouble, maybe these new guys could get a chance to play later on. But right now, EL wants to get as many points as possible to maintain first place in the rankings.
Absolutely. They are currently tied with Karen Tigers. They both have 9 points apiece, but obviously they played more games than all the other teams so far. But yeah, we're going to have to see if that all changes tonight. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves and talk about Karen Tigers, we're going to talk about B Gaming, because this is the other crazy, the Entertainment Tankers, apparently that's their name.
Yes, that's right.
This is the other Japanese team that we were talking about. And again, these guys, 7mm, Kuraya, Taki, Nipa, Tamati, Super Hiroshi, these are all guys that we have been seeing. And the new guys, too.
Samo and Tiltil Matil.
Tiltil Matil.
And so, the rest of the team we have seen before. We have seen 7mm playing different roles than what we saw him play last season. So they have shifted kind of the roles of some of these players. Super Hiroshi sometimes playing that filler role, as well as Nipa. So really a mixed bag when it comes to what B Gaming did last season versus this season. In this new Tier 10 format, they have definitely switched things up, but they still look to be a strong team.
Absolutely. And B Gaming, they did play, I'm trying to see here. They did play once last week?
I think they played against Karen Tiger and lost.
Yes, they did. And so far they are in 5th place, tied for 5th place.
That's right.
With a bunch of other teams. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and I think the maps have been chosen. These are the maps that we're going to be playing on. Mines, Ruinberg, Prohorovka, and Cliff.
That's right. So it's going to be a very different lineup than what we saw last series. And keep in mind, no steps, so probably a smart choice on the side of B Gaming to keep that one out. Also, another one of EO Gaming's best maps, Himmelsdorf, is not going to be in the map pool either. So this is going to be the first time we don't have Ghost Town or Himmelsdorf in our pool, and we're going kind of a bit classic with Mines and Ruinberg, but then we're going to go to our newer maps with Prokhorova and Prokhorovka. Oh my God.
Oh no, it's gone to
and
you.
Then Cliff. Now, Ghost Town, of course, is still our tiebreaker map should we get to it. I don't think EO Gaming has any intentions of allowing that to happen. We'll see if B Gaming can stop them.
Yep. I mean, I think they've been sitting in here trying to pick tanks for these games. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the first game is just about ready. Let's get into set number 1. Welcome to the second series of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have EL Gaming versus B Gaming, and we are on Mines. Here are the tanks.
All right, let's talk about these tank lineups. We're going to see 2 50Bs, 3 140s, and 2 T54s from EL Gaming. And on B Gaming side, they're also going to run 3 140s, but a tank destroyer, pretty unique to this map. A 215B 183 with the 215B, so a little bit of a quicker, weaker version of that 215B. 1390 on Samo, and there are your lists. But as EO Gaming is the first attacking team, what we've already seen from them this season is rushing for that center. They're going to do it again, but notice that B Gaming is trying to set up a defensive arc where they are focusing down A tanks that come into their range, and they already did get some damage done onto Samo.
Yep, Samo did get some damage done, but so did Nice. They definitely went back and forth, chipping away some HP there. Samo is going to... he's going to hug the cliff, basically, so that he doesn't get shot at, but he wants to see if he can make some what's the word I'm looking for? A distraction.
Sure,
there we
sure,
go.
sure.
He wants to make some sort of distraction.
I was like trying to follow you there. I was like, oh, I don't know the word either.
I know the word. Yeah, but he is hugging that cliff to make sure that he won't get shot at himself. Super Hiroshi does take a little bit of damage as well right now. You guys can see on the mini-map, this is a very standard positioning for what B Gaming is doing, as we've seen last season, where we've got the Object 140s on the island, where before they were the T-54 lightweights.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got the 215B standing on the side to do some damage, where I guess then we would have had the 1390 to do that.
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. I mean, basically, everything is kind of positioning-wise very similar to kind of summing up what Susie's saying. Obviously, we have different tanks in those positions serving those roles. Now, just want to take a look at where 7mm. Okay, he's on the 215B, which is more like what we did see from last season.
Ooh.
We're gonna see a little bit of a jump down here, take the slide.
Oh,
a little bit of fall damage.
gosh.
That's
yeah,
okay.
Nice did it without the fall damage. Black, not so much.
A bit tougher on that 140, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. It looks like they're going to rejoin their brethren on the island, and they're going to push around that lighthouse, and that might mean they're trying to attack the southern island where the Object 140s are, and we're going to fight there with those isolated tanks to get a tank advantage.
Yeah, this is interesting that they have completely left the mine area. They just don't even care for that high ground right now. You're right. I think it does look like they're going to try and see if they can take off some hit points off of the guys at B Gaming over on the island as they camp over by the lighthouse.
EO
Look at
Gaming,
that.
just a group of elites.
Yeah.
Their rotations are flawless. Their focus fire, their coordination is
They're
perfect.
all together right now. This is a scary, scary sight.
It's tough for B Gaming to make the right perfect choice in this scenario either. They don't have a lot of time to think about it because here come those Object 140s and T-54s.
Oh,
this is what
God.
EL is known for.
Oh God, and they are known for this, for the focus fire. And as Super Hiroshi gets caught out, I don't think that's going to be a very good thing for him here.
Notice that he's trying to avoid it though. He's hiding behind the rock, and so is Taki and Nipa. This is actually not ending up being the best trade for EO Gaming at all. Their focus fire is really shut down here by that rock.
Okay, Super Hiroshi does go down, but Guanren does take a ton of damage. Reflection as well. Nipa is going to be the next target. Guanren does go down, but so does Nipa. That's a 1-for-1.
EO Gaming does take a hit point lead, and again, the focus fire, the coordination is incredible. Taking a horrible fight, but turning it around in seconds.
Yeah, Reflection, that was a bad positioning move there for him.
Taki could kill him here. He's very low, but if Taki pokes out, then he's going to get focused.
Yep, Black and Newman definitely waiting on it, and Nice on the other side as well.
Yep, this is going to be a small win here once they take out Taki, but the question is, can EL, with their shattered lineup, actually come to fruition? Their AMXs were out of this entire fight, but they were putting some cover fire on. None of their cover fire really connected, but they're really trying to hope to turn the tide. I think in a more straight-up battle, both those AMXs now reloaded, they will be able to add some extra fire. The hit point's really similar here. Composition-wise, if those 50Bs do the damage, then they have an advantage. But you know, that's the key. Can they find that damage? Two shots left on the destroyer as well.
That's what he's looking for. Can he find the damage? And I think that's exactly what he wants to do. Spring is going to go scout out, see if he can pick off and finish off members of B Gaming. Zero interest in capping a base point right now. They just want to win this game through elimination.
That's right. Well, Tamati in a good spot. Tamati and 7mm are going to be the tanks that will be able to do that consistent damage regardless of how many rounds they have. The tank destroyer that has 2 rounds left last I checked, and that 1390 at full rounds are going to be limited in that regard.
Okay, here come the 2 Object 140s. They're going to see and spot Tamati. There it is. And Newman does take quite some damage to the face. Black is still hidden. I don't think Tamati knows he's there.
They need support. They can't fight Tamati alone, especially because Tamati has friends nearby.
They don't know that.
Yeah, and that's what they're about to find out. You know, the AMX-5100s are actually going to give cover fire, and they find an angle on Tamati, and the 1390 is not able to help at all. So Fox is going to, again, this is what Fox is known for, is giving that support autoloader fire, and he just blasts him away, finishes him off.
That was really, really well done. Spring is going to see if he can lure them out a bit to make sure that other members of his team can get rid of him.
And Samo's so low. Nearly reloaded. Tiltil will grab a kill here. Black will go down as well. Great shots there with that tank destroyer. Will it be enough to turn things around? I don't think so. Tiltil now falls.
Again, Fox with that snipe kills off Tiltil. 7mm and Samo are the last two men standing for B Gaming, and they are both down to paper armor, basically. There goes Samo, and
there goes 7mm as well. And EL will take the first win in a bit of a longer skirmish where they had a disadvantage early on because they took some disadvantageous fights, but their focus firing and their coordination was what won them out in the end.
That seemed a lot messier than what I expected from EL Gaming, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, but I have to say, I kind of alluded towards this a little bit last season, but I think the most underrated EL player is Fox, and I think he's actually slowly becoming my favorite player in this entire game. He's always got his turret pointed where it needs to be, and he will make those important autoloader shots. In the Tier 8 meta, it was with the 5100. He's on Lakeville on the other side. He's like, I see you, you're dead, let's move on. In this case, he really turned that game around, taking out Tamati, allowing them to push into that very, very difficult to access position.
Okay, well, looks like Karaya is going to come into the mix. We're going to be able to see him for B Gaming. I'm wondering who's coming out. It is Tiltil. Tiltil is coming out.
Matil out of there.
Yep, and we're going to get Karaya in there. Tiltil Matil. I wonder how he came up with that name.
Could be, I mean, I was going to say could be maybe like those are the characters on the keyboard to type something in Japanese that we don't know. I mean, I don't
maybe,
know.
Yeah, that makes
happens
sense.
sometimes.
A lot of Korean players end up doing that, except we can't really read them because it's just jumble of letters, to be completely honest with you. But okay, tanks have been chosen, and with a new member in the lineup, I think we may be able to see a different strategy.
Yeah, I mean, things might get shaken up with Karaya back in the mix. Karaya is a player we saw almost every match last season, and Tiltil Matil, of course, is one of their newer players. So, like Karen Tigers, the other Japanese team switching Tepco in for Opolis. You know, everyone was always waiting for Opolis to come back. We haven't seen him yet. But, you know, in this case, it's like Karaya's coming back in, more of a classic player. And I don't feel like Tiltil Matil made many mistakes, so maybe it feels more comfortable going onto this map with a different, you know, type of tank entirely. We'll have to wait and see.
We will wait and see, but it looks like we are all just about ready. And let's go into game number 2. Game number 2 is underway. EL Gaming versus B Gaming. And EL did take that first game, but now it's B Gaming's turn to be on the attack.
Well, EL is running the same lineup with the 2 autoloaders and the Object 140s. But B Gaming is running 2 E5s, 1 autoloader, 2 140s, 1 Japanese STB, and Karaya is going to be actually on that SPG that's not sure if it's an M40 or an M43.
Well, yeah, that was the difference, right? Because before, when we had Tiltil, he was on
1390, the autoloader, but they're actually going to bring a fight right to them.
Whoa!
As soon as they see that tank lineup, they're like, "Oh, you're down a tank. We will fight you." And that SPG is not going to give much support here.
Oh wow! EL Gaming showing us exactly what they are good at, and that is focus firing and having everyone just shoot at the same time. I think that within itself is like huge feat.
Yeah. Now look at this. Newman comes in as soon as he's ready and loaded. Already down goes 7mm, and EL is going to surround and destroy Samo. Tamati goes down now as well. Guanren escapes death.
Samo is the next man. He's going to be shot down. As he's running away, I don't think he's going to be able to run away. There goes Samo.
He wanted to kill Spring on his way out of this world, but unfortunately it's not going to happen.
Nope.
Nipa goes down now as well.
Yep, and Taki and Super Hiroshi. Which one's going to be, boys? Which one are you going to take down next?
And what's funny is they actually switched Spring and Newman onto the bat chats and put Fox onto an object, which means they knew from the beginning they wanted to do this plan. They did not want Fox to be the sniper this time. And Karai, the last man standing on that SPG. The bat chats are looking for him.
Wow, that was so quick, guys. That was only like a minute and a half into this game.
Oh my god, look at how quickly it dies. One shot nearly enough to do it. The second will finish him.
And that was a minute and 40-second round.
Wow.
That, oh.
EO Gaming's not messing around.
No, they are not. And I feel like, again, this is the EL that I know. I think game 1 was kind of like a practice round.
Well, they might have just not been as comfortable on the attack and definitely had some issues taking the right engagements. Obviously, they still won because they're just mechanically and coordination-wise the better team.
What if they're all robots?
It's possible, Susie. We saw them in the booth. Okay, we saw them there. We saw them in person. We met them in real life. But what if all the skin and the personalities are all just code? What if they're not really human? They just really look like humans.
I could swear I shook one of their hands and it was warm. So that does make me think that they are human beings.
But I mean, we've seen characters like this, say in Star Trek, like the character Data. If you look at him, he looks like a human, but in fact is an android. So, this sort of situation could be real. Maybe WGL will have to look into the matter to actually prove that in fact they are human. Because they don't look like it.
Until they prove it, though, I mean,
human until proven android that's how we like to look at it here in the Gold Series.
Wow, EL Gaming definitely showing us they are not joking around by any means. Next map is going to be Ruinberg.
We haven't seen this map in a while.
No.
This map always makes me think of Run and TCSG because we saw so many games of these two teams just running in and
TCSGing.
Yes, and TCSGing, which for those of you guys who didn't follow last season, means dying in a big fire while walking into an arc of tanks. But we're going to take a look at the map before we describe
Yes,
this
let's talk about Ruinberg, the map. Now, here it is. Here is the map. Unlike Himmelsdorf, this place is a constant sunrise or sunset. One of the two, where the sun is.
It's always kind of like twilight in this map. It's got a nice sky. The key about this map is on the attack side, you're basically escaping from a ruined city to get to the outside where the capture points are. One capture point is on the edge of the city to the north. The other one, which is much more popularly contested, is on the outside. This map has been called in Korea half-half map because it's half city and half, more open areas.
Yep, and for the most part, we usually see, like if you guys look here, there's the two capture points, one in the north and one more towards the west. And towards the west, if you see these little tiny boxes, those are actually, it's town.
Yeah.
It's tiny little houses, and for the most part, battles will happen over there on the east, not the west side, I'm sorry, the east side of the map.
Yeah, the southeast.
And along that road.
And the road is where you want to avoid being, because the defensive team will always have a tank or two. Usually the autoloader is looking down that road. If you expose yourself, you will get shot. However, if you actually go along the side of the road, sometimes you can trip up those tanks that are hiding there. It's very similar to the road that we have on Perovka on the left side, where there's trees and shrubbery around it. So getting onto the road or getting near the road, there's obviously a lot of coverage. But if you're on the road itself and there's a tank looking down it, which on the defensive side you already kind of spawn there, then you're going to be able to take good shots. Knowing EL Gaming, I think they're going to try to, again, have a very aggressive game like we saw just on Game 2 on Steps. Because that's a good way to get out of the city on the attack side.
Right. Well, I mean, for the most part, for all of last season, most of the teams didn't stay in the city anyway. Like, they would just jet out of there and try to make their way over to the little town instead.
We have not seen, actually, as far as I can remember, a single game this season on this map with tier 10s. If I had to think about like theory crafting about what tanks the Asian teams will use, I think we're going to see Bat Chats and Object 140s. Because last season we saw Tier 54 lightweights and then 1390s.
Right.
And maybe one IS-3 every now and then to kind of give that extra damage or tankiness. We might see an E5 to do something similar.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me.
That's what I would expect to see. We might see 50Bs instead of the Bat Chats. It's really up to teams' personal preference on what kind of autoloaders they want to use.
I'm thinking Object 140s for sure.
Object 140s definitely, especially on the attack side, to get out of there.
Yeah.
We've seen EO Gaming really likes their Bat Chats, but we've seen some of the other teams prefer to use the 50Bs. In the last match, both teams preferring to use that Bat Chat as their autoloader.
All right. Well, Karaya is out again, and now it's time for a Shimip.
All right, well, Shimup's going to rotate in now. I don't think we're going to be seeing any SPGs on this map. We saw Obelisk try it and fail a few times, but I think this map is better left to just your normal tanks.
I think so too. Now, game is just about ready, so let's head on into Ruinberg. Welcome to sunny Ruinberg. It's EL Gaming versus B Gaming, set number 3. EL did take the first 2 games quite quickly, and B Gaming is going to try their luck first on the attack.
Well, on the defense, EL is bringing IS tanks, 1 IS-4 and 2 IS-7s, and they're going to bring a 50B. And actually, contrary to what I mentioned before, Spring is going to be on that M40, M43. We do see a Conqueror and a T-54 on the side of B Gaming. They're going to run 3 215Bs, which are quicker. They're a lot more damage than an Object 140. Obviously not as quick as you can see on the minimap. You can basically see how the speeds of the tanks stack up to each other. But this should be interesting. A very cautious approach now for EL Gaming towards that street where we do see B Gaming approaching.
Right, yeah, EL Gaming kind of all grouped up together here. You can see that they, well, now we're on B Gaming. You can see these tanks definitely want to travel as a pack. Don't want to get cut out by themselves. But look at the positioning here by EL Gaming. They are all hidden in a perfect place where they can have full vision and try to kill off B Gaming before they get anywhere close to them. Ooh, yeah. That was really nice animation there.
Yeah, cool shot there, attempted by Reflection. He will take a little bit of damage, but on an IS-4, the screen says he has like 2,600 health, but we all know he has actually like 900,000 health. That's basically how much the IS-4 has. If you hit it, its armor might just reflect. It's insanely tough to penetrate. It's slow, but it's basically like firing at a brick wall with a pistol. You're not going to break it.
All right, well, already this game has gone longer than the last one. So congrats on B Gaming for lasting that long. But no, because of these houses and the way that this map is laid out, it is much better for both of the teams to play it a little more cautiously, utilize the houses for their benefit.
Yeah.
But nobody's moving. Wolf, tell him to move, tell him to brawl.
We do see a little... we might see that once a side swap and B Gaming is on the defense, but it looks like B Gaming is going to rotate a Bat Chat, a T-54, and a 140 to the left side of the city. The autoloaders for EL Gaming are looking down for capture point number 1. Every second of time that EL buys here works in their favor. It's their 8th tank on defense. Yeah. All right, a weird rotation here. Looks like they want to try to go for a pick.
Yeah, this is really strange. These 3 tanks coming around back into the city, going over towards capture point number 1. But what they don't know is that EL Gaming definitely has that one covered as well. And once they drive down here, I'm pretty sure they're going to get shot at.
Yeah, I think they're hoping that they're going to get one of these quick caps or a pick. It's not going to happen to either of them.
As they come into capture point number 1, they still do have plenty of tanks left over by capture point number 2. Unless they're trying to just capture both at the same time or create a diversion.
Fox is ready, and he's not going to miss a shot. I promise you that.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at this. Newman and Nice taking shots across as well. Look, Fox waiting until the last second. To take his shots.
Reflection is going to try to take oh gosh. But you know, it is a 3v2 here. Fox is taking quite a lot of damage. She only has 1 shot left. Reflection does go down. Fox, he's gonna have to do something right now because he's not gonna do anything at all right now.
Looks like he lost his ammo there. We had a weird angle. It was like a house in the way, so I couldn't really see what happened, but he lost 3 of his shots. And a bit of a malfunction there. Couldn't repair it in time, but 3,000 hit point lead here for B Gaming.
Wow, that was quite a shot for Spring, and tables have turned. B Gaming are the ones with all of their members right now, while EL Gaming, they are down to 4.
I really have to question the SPG on this map. We have not seen it successfully in the Tier 8 format be a game changer, and we're seeing something similar already here. in Tier 10s. Good positioning here for EL Gaming. Can they make this work? Nice. Trying to change things around, and a lot of the tanks for B Gaming are out of position, and they're also not capturing.
They are not capturing, you are right. And here we have Nex. The Nex is going to be surrounded. It's got a Conqueror on one side, and a 20 and a 215B on another, and a 250B on the other side. So
they're just so outnumbered.
Yeah, this is not going EL Gaming's way. B Gaming going to go ahead and take one game off of our reigning champions.
That's right. Guanren, the last man standing, and he's not going to be able to hold out for 5 minutes and 6 seconds. That's certainly not going to happen. There's going to be a slow and painful death for this last IS-7 before B Gaming will take game number 3.
He's not even going to move. He's like, come on, come at me, bros. And they do. B Gaming goes ahead and takes game number 3.
EL Gaming in that game running Spring on the SPG. I find that a bit questionable just simply because...
If Opolis couldn't do it.
Okay, so rule number 1, if Opolis can't do it, you can't do it. Rule number 2, if you can't spot for an SPG, how is it ever going to hit anything? It's simply not. He got found as well and killed early on. I mean, early on in the sense that like he was killed before he could actually be a game changer. Without anyone to spot for you, that's never going to happen anyways. And just overall, I feel like EL Gaming did not play to their strengths on this map.
No.
And I think they were hoping to play a slower, more technical map, whereas B Gaming just found them out, scouted early, and was able to pick them apart. Now, I think we're going to see a lot more aggression out of EL Gaming now that they're switching to the attack side.
Yes. Obviously, as we saw, game number 1, when EL played a little slower, the game was a bit more of a struggle, and they almost lost it. They did win. Game number 2, when EL just went straight on, in 1 minute and 40 seconds, the whole game was over. So I'm thinking if they can go ahead and do that again on the attack, just go in and attack the way you do, EL Gaming should be able to come out with a win on this one.
I have to agree. We'll see what they do because EL Gaming has already 2 games in this series done things I didn't expect them to do. So even if we both have this like solid expectation as to how EL Gaming is going to approach this map, we haven't seen them play attack side on this map yet this season. Anything could happen. If they like run another SPG, I'm going to be really disappointed. But maybe we see that miracle play where I go, oh, that's why they run the SPG. You know, that Opolis has shown us many times before. Spring and Guanren and Reflection, all 3 of them have played SPGs. I'd say all 3 of them basically playing second fiddle to Opolis when it comes to SPG hits, but not bad SPG players. I think it's just a bad SPG map.
Yeah, I have to agree too. It's just interesting to see because we haven't seen SPGs be as successful. I think they should just go with the tried and true, like just another tank. I
mean, the M4043 is really good right now. It's very much in the meta, especially at lower levels, I would say. But at, you know, the professional level versus B Gaming, who's, I would say, top 3 teams in this league right now, you know, just behind Karen Tiger. You're really pushing your luck trying to have success on Runeberg. We go to Himmelsdorf even, you might be able to find something. You go to Mines, you know, you've got a lot better chance. Even Steps, but not so much here. You have to have a spotter, you have to have vision, and we're seeing a lot more rotations on this map with those Object 140s.
Yep, well, I mean, I think all the tanks have been set. We have the Observer just making sure everyone has the tanks that they want. And soon, I think we're going to get into the next game and watch EL on the attack. Here we go, guys. Welcome back, everyone. Here we go. EL Gaming versus B Gaming. Set number 4. B Gaming actually able to take a game off of EL. And now EL is going to be on the attack.
2 215Bs, 3 Object 140s, a Conqueror, and its twin. EL Gaming looks poised to be very aggressive here in this 4th game. Seeing out a shot as they move forward. Now, B Gaming, let's see if they slow play this or if they try to counter. Running a T-54 T1, a Conqueror, a Tank Destroyer, and 3 215Bs. So a similar comp to what we saw before. Bring a Tank Destroyer, though, and that T1 instead of a second Conqueror.
All right.
Or E1, excuse me, not T1. I don't
Yeah.
know why I said T.
The T-54E1.
I think it's because like I'm used to seeing Korean T-guts, which look like E's kind of, and like that's how my brain works just now. It's actually crazy, but
It does. Oh gosh, no. Why did you have to tell me that, Wolf? Now I'm going to be looking at it that way.
you can never unsee.
All right, well, you know what you did say about EL, it's a very, a pretty aggressive lineup. I'm surprised they haven't decided to get all up in there and kill everything all at once already.
They're moving in two groups. One group is securing the edge of the road to make sure there's not a massive push by B Gaming down there. And then the 215Bs with a Conqueror supporting them are moving down very quickly towards the second capture point. The other Conqueror is going to do a little Conqueror duel to try to get vision of that courtyard to the north. But notice these three tanks are ready to start a fight, with the rest of the tanks kind of slowly coming up to support from the street. Object 140s can get down that street really fast.
They sure can, and already, yeah, you're right. This positioning, if you look on the mini map here, the Object 140s down this road, you can see that they are ready. They're hiding, but they're also ready to take that shot.
Yeah. Very patient approach. It was kind of stealthy the way EO Gaming got into this amazing position without fighting.
Again, perfect hits on Samo as he just drops HP.
He's reloading for a long time, but he's way off the map. Does avoid the next shot, and 7mm is trying to help get the fire away from him. Black and Guanren are willing to fight 7mm instead, knowing that basically Samo is essentially disabled for the next few seconds.
Right, and they are, in a way, out in the open, but doing a great job avoiding these shots. And Guanren, he's going to try to utilize his house now. Members of B Gaming, they are just going to stomp down this road. They want to make sure that they can try to eliminate members of EL Gaming. The base capture has begun, 95 seconds.
Well, Spring needs to rotate back to Guanren because a big push is coming. He doesn't know how big it is just yet. Taki is actually going to try to run by here, but there's another Object 140 nice down the street waiting for him, and the focus fire is real. Taki might actually just go down without any damage done.
Wow. Black goes ahead and kills Taki off. Wow. Again, it's all about the focus fire. EL Gaming are just so in tune with one another. They're so good.
Well, a tank destroyer, Tamati that is, will actually kill Fox. But it's just a Conqueror they get, which is one small step. And with 7mm and Tamati going down, I don't think it's a good trade. I
don't think so either. EL Gaming pretty secure in their positioning. They're just going to start picking off members. Superhero, she does go down. Nipa and Shimip are the only two left, but not for much longer.
Oh, well, I mean, there's not much they can do. It's gonna be I don't want to be mean, but Shimip, man, if you unplugged your Ethernet, you might have a better chance than you would have had there in that fight. So EL will take, they will take a 2-point lead again, taking that 3-1 score as we go into our third map, which will be Prokhorovka. And
Prokhorovka. Do we pronounce the K or not? Because I've been hearing different things. Prokhorovka.
You're just thinking too much into it.
I think I am.
You know, it's
okay.
like one of those things where you just go, it's like tomato, K, pronounce the K, or don't pronounce the K. It's just fine, you know.
Okay, all right.
Everyone knows what we're talking about. There's no other map that kind of sounds like it, you know. It's not like there's a map called like Prokhorovka and a map called Prorovka or something where it's like, oh, what did she say? You know, you're good. You're on the money.
I'm good. Okay. Hopefully
it's
I'm
all
good.
right.
All right. So on Prokhorovka, I think we have EL Gaming on attack first, and we'll see if they can just make that lead even bigger than it is.
They will go to match point if they win this next game. I would say this is kind of one of those maps where you look at it and you go, this is EL's strength. This is their type of map, and B Gaming will need to play into EL's strengths. Played more defensively, maybe bring some more E5s on this map, or even an extra E10 or E100, just to play a little bit safer, just to have that extra longevity. Because EL will destroy you in a straight up fight. They will focus fire you down. If you bring those autoloaders, you better keep them behind. You better hide them. You better keep them in the bushes. Okay, you better have them on the other side of the road track. Do not cross the road track.
Hide your autoloaders. Hide your guns.
Yeah,
he's gonna come after you, man.
That's right. Hide your little tier 8, okay?
But the reason we say this because EL Gaming, again, on steps, were just absolute. They're the ones who just changed the entire game on step last season, and here we are on a map that's similar in the way that they are. It's complete open map. I'm really excited to see if they'll be brawling because I love brawls. But
high chance,
which makes me very happy. But yeah, they're just going to come in, and I think they're going to go super aggressive on the attack.
There's a really, really high chance that that's going to happen, as I just mentioned. But let's see how B Gaming responds, tank-wise, because I feel like there's a few ways they can do this. They can just try to out-position and kind of catch EL's push if EL's going to go for this. They can also try to bring in a little bit more, a heavy tank or two with their mediums and their objects to try to basically beat EL in a fight that goes longer, that longevity. But it's up to them to choose how they want to approach this.
Okay, we will see how this all goes down. I'm so ready for a brawl. Let's get into the game. Welcome to Prohorovka, guys. EL Gaming versus B Gaming, set number 5. EL ahead with 3 games to B Gaming's 1, and they are going to be on the attack first.
B Gaming's lineup is all about speed. It's all about Japan with those 5 STB1s are running. They do bring 1 Bat Chat and 1 RU-251. It's the most flimsy lineup you could ever bring to this map, but it's also the most mobile. With 125 ton, you're going to have that extra auto lure damage. But EL's lineup is more standard with the Object 140s. They're bringing even 2 215Bs. They all have their own RU-251 for that extra vision, and they also bring a Bat Chat. So focus fire-wise, if EL does it right, like they always do, I give them advantage. But if B Gaming can outmaneuver them, I think that's their best bet.
It's funny that they bring so many STB1s because, it is a very mobile tank, like you said, and it does have one of the highest DPMs in the game. But the gun accuracy is not that great, and in long range, they're not very great either. And this is a huge open map.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Japan pride. I'm not blaming them. It's a Japanese team. They want to use their tanks. Totally go for it.
And we have seen a lot of compositions that mix the STB1s with objects. This is the first time we've seen a purely STB1 lineup. And it's actually EL Gaming that's playing it patiently. I think B Gaming is like, wait, this isn't what we thought was going to happen.
What's going on? Where are they right now? B Gaming just kind of running around almost as if they're looking for EL, like EL's going to be hiding in a bush somewhere nearby. But no, it's only reflection in a bush. There's the RU-251. He sees it all. He sees it all.
Yeah. Here comes that coordinated movement from EL Gaming. The music is perfect for this as they slowly escape. This is actually exactly what happened last game. EL Gaming just, with their scouts, they know exactly what B Gaming is doing, and they're like, how can we just get into a perfect position without you noticing? We're going to do that. We're not going to take any risks. We just know where you are and how we can get into a better position. Now they're going to charge from the right side. The STB, of course, its frontal armor is where it's strongest. From the side is where it's weakest.
And they're all kind of on the side. Samo takes some damage there. So does Tilmill. Tiltil
Matil.
Matil taking some damage. Reflection, however, the RU-251 has been found out. Super Hiroshi sees him.
Oh, he's gonna escape too.
Oh, wow.
Super Hiroshi might be able to finish him. Reflection wants to get one more shot off first.
I don't know, but as he's up there behind that rock, it looks like from long range, we've got EL Gaming members trying to... Oh, wow. Are you going to use this rock?
Fox is like, I got this, man. Don't worry.
Reflection's like, come on. Oh, look at that. Everyone trying to aim at everyone else.
It's actually Black who has him.
And Super Hiroshi is getting hit from Guanren and Black. He's caught. He can't move from this rock ever again.
Like, I'm trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Nope.
They
he's
do kill
done.
him, though, but...
They're both done. This rock didn't really do either of them favors.
Definitely a much better trade for EL, who has a huge advantage still in hit points.
And as that exchange was going on, B Gaming, they're going to cross these railroad tracks and see if they can go ahead and take out EL Gaming.
Well, we're seeing the STB1 squad is chasing Nice. 5 STB1s on him.
Wow, that's like the Yakuza there, isn't it? That's really
yeah, basically.
Scary. Oh, gosh.
They're after him, man.
Yep, and the Object 140 all by himself right now. B Gaming wants to kill him off. He's going to run off to the side.
And he's actually drawing these STBs out of position. Newman, Fox, and Nice are going to take some side shots here on these STB1s.
And here is Spring. He has all his rounds. He's just waiting for that perfect shot.
He's waiting for probably like Guan Ren's cue. Let him have it, you know.
Oh, and here comes the brawl now, guys.
It's going to be a nearly impossible fight for B Gaming.
I mean, 7mm is all the way in the back to see if he can give some cover fire or like pick off the ones that are low. But again, on the RU-251, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do all that much damage. Tamani does take down Nice. Here is Spring a little out of position. He's by himself, possibly to create a diversion.
Well, I mean, look at this. Tiltil Matil goes down.
More.
Spring dies first, but this is going to be the end of the line. As the last man standing here for B Gaming is going to be 7mm off to the side of this RU-251. He's fast and quick, but he's not going to be able to take out 4 tanks.
No, but you know what? If he just sits around for 5, no, he probably won't be able to sit around for 5 minutes. No.
Maybe 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Oh gosh, and
he actually just walks into his death, and this is actually something we're starting to see this season that we never saw last season. Is actual surrenders. We've seen this now like a few times in this series, specifically when teams just go, all right, I've got an RU-251, I could escape for another minute, but I'm just going to go suicide because we need to go into game 6.
Yeah.
But this puts EO Gaming on match point now, and so one more win on their opposite side on the defense would secure them a victory here, which would put them in first place currently at 12 points.
Oh, but they do play against Karen Tiger.
Who could also tie it.
Yes, then they can tie it again. And if they do, if EL wins again, then they are just way ahead of everyone.
And because they won a direct comparison versus Karen Tiger, it looks likely that they will stay ahead if they win both matches, which is not yet to be decided. At the very most, though, B Gaming can only hope for 2 points. They will have to win by tiebreaker to get that. And it starts to seem unlikely as EO Gaming looks coordinated. They're taking the better fights. The STB lineup was cool, but EO Gaming just basically circumvented it by avoiding taking those frontal engagements and baiting with 1 tick at a time, drawing all the STBs, and then having those side attacking tanks on the 215Bs, doing the real damage. And that's basically the long part of the short story of how EL just crushed game number 5. But
okay, do you think B Gaming is going to do it again?
Yes, just because they seem really comfortable with it. If they don't run the STB ones, I think they're going to run probably Object 140s and try to kind of like do the same sort of style, but maybe with a bit more flexibility. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to give them any chances here. To be honest, not to be too dark, but I feel like EL has got their number now.
I think so too. I think the STB. Yes, I agree too. I think they will try it again because I don't know. I feel like it's like a pride thing at this point. But you're right. EL's probably going to be able to take this next game, and it'll be 3 points for them again.
Well, just looking at the lobby, looks like both teams are ready now.
All right, and yeah, they're going to give me the signal in just a moment. And when they do, we will head into game number 6. Welcome back to Pro Arovka. It is EL Gaming versus B Gaming, set number 6. EL Gaming with 4 wins. This is match point.
That's right. 1 win for EL Gaming would secure them the victory. We are going to see the same lineup from B Gaming. They just one of those teams that doesn't like to switch it up even when in the face of adversity, excuse me.
Diversity?
Speaking of diversity, though, EL Gaming has switched their lineup to Bat Chats. Instead of the 215Bs, they're going to keep the 251, but they're just going to run 140s and 12 tons. So a scary lineup to face on both sides of things. Let's see if B Gaming can use this STB1 lineup to outmaneuver EL. They're just going to rush in What's really funny about what EL Gaming is doing is they're basically doing what we call in other games a party bush. They're actually hiding themselves entirely, and they're hoping to ambush I keep calling it BL Gaming, B Gaming, as they come across the map. And this could actually end up being crazy because they are the best team in the world as far as I've seen at focus firing, and if you show yourself, you are dead.
Oh dear. All right, base capture number 2 has begun. 86 seconds on that timer with the RU-251. Doesn't seem like this is a tank that they want to be sticking in here, unless it's going to be running circles inside
It's the best tank to threaten with, though, because it's going to be, you know, not a lot of lost damage in a fight. It means that it can also escape very quickly because it is the RU. And with their positioning, they know it can't be killed. All right, EL is going to go for, again, another side swipe attack. They're not going to try to engage this on the front, but the positioning this time is much better from B Gaming. They're setting up, they're looking for this. They know this is most likely what's happening. Samo's sixth sense has gone off.
I mean, while we're talking here, base capture is down to 52 seconds already, and EL Gaming really need to do something about it. But again, calm, steady.
Samo. He was the one who had the sixth sense first, but it's not going to save him here. It looks like he's going to be the first to get killed by this pack of 140s with bat chats.
Oh dear, yeah.
10 seconds to go on base capture, though. They need to actually get some fire on that.
I think that's exactly what they're going to go ahead and do. They're going to start shooting, make sure that they stop this base capture. Already up to 25 seconds, and Samo goes down.
Oh man, EO Gaming doing what they do best with Object 140s. The bat chat falls out, which is scary.
And here's the brawl. This is exactly what I've been looking for, but members of B Gaming just oh my goodness. What an incredible ambush by EL Gaming here. Not only did they stop the base capture, they're just oh my god, they're
well,
just
the Object
exploding.
140 is just a better tank overall in these kind of fights. The STB is best at a frontal engagement, but with Object 140s, if you constantly keep rotating around in circles, basically as EO Gaming is doing, then you can just constantly circumvent that. Their focus firing is also better. It's just the best in the business. And down goes Taki now after it looks like Super Hiroshi is going to try to save him. It looks like EO Gaming is going to close this series out 5-1 with a cool ambush tactic. Never seen anything like it yet on this map, but EL, they make the meta.
If anyone was going to do a tactic like that, it was definitely going to be EL because, man, those guys, so good. I am super excited because you know what? Now they're warmed up and we're going to see some amazing games. In the next set,
yes,
we're going to play against Karen Tigers and, but we should all calm down for about 10 minutes. You guys go to the bathroom, go get some food because you want to come back and you don't want to miss the last set. So we will be right back in about 10 minutes.
Do it!
Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the last set of the evening. My name is Susie Kim. This is Wolf Schroeder, in case you guys forgot who we were. But yeah, this is it. This is the match I think we've all been waiting for. And it's another repeat of the best two teams from Season 1 facing off again today.
The question is, can Karen Tigers actually live up to the reputation and put a dent into EL? Because everyone's saying, you know, they have the best chance of actually stopping EL out of all the other teams in this round robin. It's going to be a double round robin, so they've got two chances, you know, before we go into actual playoffs, to fight EL and beat them. And this is going to be their first opportunity to show us where their skills are at. They've already dominated every other team they've faced so far in this league, but so has EL. The winner of this match will basically be, as far as our predictions go for the current rankings, put the best team that we have in this league. I think most people would still give EL the favorite, and give them as the favorites, but you know, maybe Karen Tigers can surprise us.
Maybe they have what it takes. Speaking of Karen Tigers, let's go ahead and I'll introduce the team to you. Here is the roster for Karen Tigers. They used to be called the Charlotte Tigers. Now they are Karen Tigers. No, Charlotte Tigers.
That's right.
Polly Akiv. We have Pitset, the newcomer, Tepco. We've been seeing him quite a lot in placement of Obelisk.
Yeah, he's usually playing the Tier 8 tank, mostly going on 54 lightweight, but we have seen him on the Conqueror, as well as other filler tanks, obviously with that 68-point limit. But 78-point limit.
68.
Oh, it is 68, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so, you know, this team is obviously really, really strong. One of their best players that we saw a lot of last season, though, Obelisk has not yet appeared in their active 7-player roster.
I'm just wondering, do you think this is the year that he's like retired? He's just kind of sitting there finding a way to have a successor before he can leave or something like that?
Well, I mean, maybe he's just waiting until this, you know, this meta gets figured out a little bit more, because the Burt is kind of out right now. But here's EL Gaming. Let's take a look at this roster. We saw them dominate against B Gaming, and part of that came down to Fox's great shots. We said Nice and Black, great coverage on the 215B.
Spring
doing something crazy with the SPG, which didn't work out.
But still, and Guanren, man, that guy definitely can pull his own weight. This team, just tried and true. They're even when they swap in and out players, they are just so good. And there's really nothing more to say about that.
Yeah, best team in Asia. That's what EL Gaming is, and that's what they're going to show us, or at least attempt to show us here, because if Karen Tigers dethrone them, a lot of people might question what I just said, but I have to say, my prediction for this series is EL takes it 5-1.
5-1. We had talked about this earlier. I did say 5-2, but now that I've watched them, I don't know, you know, I'm going to stay with 5-2.
5-2?
I'm going to stick with 5-2. But I think they have selected their maps now. These are the maps that we're going to see. We have Himmelsdorf, Mines, Murovanka, and Cliff, Ghost Town being the tiebreaker map.
Yeah, so just looking at this set of maps, we saw Mines was the map that I think Karen Tigers was really, really doing well on last season, especially because of Obelisk, but still their team coordination with their lightweight T-54s and their movements were really strong. But Himmelsdorf is where EL is really looking strong this season. Last season it was all about the steps, but now Himmelsdorf is where they're dominating with their rotations, especially on the railroad track side on attack.
Absolutely. I'm surprised that we don't see, like you said, steps or Provanka here, because they've been showing us some great games on those maps, but it's a city time, man.
Yeah, and it looks like, Karen Tiger basically banning out the maps that EL is good at.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see why.
I think that definitely comes into this a little bit. But, I have to look at this and say, Karen Tigers has a chance. We'll see how well they can perform, but how well EL performs as well, on the starting map. I think that momentum is so important. If EL takes a 2-0, then it's going to be hard for Karen Tigers to recover.
All right, well, let's get straight into game number 1 and see how things pan out. All right, guys, set number 1, Karen Tiger versus EL Gaming. We have Karen Tigers on the attack first.
All right, let's take a look at these lineups. First thing to note, I know all the fans are wondering, is Obelisk in the lineup? It's Tepco again on the T-54 lightweight. 3 E5s, a 215B, that's a key. And then our autoloaders for Karen Tiger are going to be Modame and Shinoza, which we have seen them both do quite a bit in the past. For EL, they're going to be defending first. We're not going to see any flashy attempts to capture the left side capture point. But we have Spring on the Mouse again. Only EL Gaming has really been showing us that Mouse, and it's usually Spring who does bring it to the map. But Reflection and Fox are going to be bringing the Conquerors.
Oh, yeah, they're going to just take some shots down that alleyway, see if they can catch anything at all. Tepco was awfully close, but he manages to escape that. Shinoza up on the castle side.
Yeah.
What you doing, buddy?
It's where you normally want to have your autoloader, but
well, that's like where the 5100 would have been, right?
Exactly, and he doesn't get too close to the edge. He's playing very conservatively, in fact.
Okay, well here you can see we have 4 members of EL Gaming just kind of grouped up at the bottom of the castle area. What are they doing? 5 of them, in fact.
Yeah, looks like they're going to actually try to do another one of those ambushes.
Which, you know what, if any team's going to do it, I would love to see EL be able to pull it off.
They're also safe from Shinoza.
You
can't see them.
They're actually getting in a row over there, yeah.
The biggest worry, I would say, for EL currently would be if Karen Tiger went for that railroad crossing or railroad capture. They are sending a few tanks that direction, but we do have Nice looking down that railroad, so he knows that's a potential.
Wow, and the weather also.
The calm before the storm.
Oh, the storm is coming, guys. I am so surprised EL is just going to sit there and be in a defensive position, which makes sense since they are on the defense. Shinoza, he's looking around, doesn't see anyone out there. This must worry him. Where are these tanks?
Yeah, that's the big concern, and he just can't physically get a spot on them. He can't get a visual on them. You could see based on where his turret is pointing, he's like, are they just down there? But he can't see, he doesn't know.
Yeah, and you know what? It's too risky for them to go down. He's also going to be talking to his teammates right now. Guys, do you see EL by the railroad tracks? Like, no, it's empty over here too.
No visuals. The only sixth sense that's gone off this entire game was on Nice, which is when Tepco got really close to try to scout things out just earlier. But everything else has been totally unknown for Karen Tigers. And during this time, Karen Tiger obviously has to play carefully because they don't know where the tanks are positioned. So EL Gaming has essentially just burned now about 3 minutes off of the clock.
Which is great because, again, they're on the defense. Burning time is... I can't believe all 5 of them are still sitting there. They're just kind of waiting for any tank to drive by so they can all focus fire on them.
I think Shinoza is familiar with the strategy because he's trying to find an angle. He must know that they're down there. He must have seen either a hint of it, or he's seen EL do this before, or he's faced something like this when he's practicing his ranked battles.
But look at that. Look at all 5 members. Once they get any tank that goes past there, they're just going to die. So fast.
So
I'm like holding my breath trying to figure out what's going on in this map here. We have 3 members of Karen Tigers going down into the courtyard now, and no one's shooting at them. I mean, these guys must be so confused right now.
Yeah, they're actually now moving through the courtyard, which is usually a terrifying thing to do, but I think at this point they kind of have to do something. They're getting closer with Aki especially.
Aki, be careful.
He can't get a visual on them either, actually, with his current position. So he's moving towards them, but he still can't physically see them. They're tucked away. Now, to put this into perspective for you guys watching this, maybe a newer viewer, this has never happened before. No one's ever tried this before. This is just, again, EL doing their own thing. They're, the self-proclaimed best team in Asia, and they have stats to back that up, but when you see them do things like this, any other team trying like this, you'd be like, well, I don't know about this. But with EL, you have to give them the
credit, the benefit of the doubt that they're going to be able to pull it off. Now, yeah, I mean, at this point, already 5 minutes and 25 seconds left. Karen Tiger really need to do something if they're going to make something happen, basically.
Yeah.
Because EL can sit here all they want for 5 minutes and they will win the game.
Now, Tepco's had enough. He's actually going to go ahead and sit in this capture point right behind the depot where he's not able to, I was going to say not able to be hit, but he was not perfectly positioned, so it does take a shot.
He was not. Nice. He's got his eyes on Tepco. He knows that Tepco is behind the little depot, and it's his job to stop this base capture from happening.
You can see he's already repositioning himself because he knows at this angle he can't make a shot. He's got plenty of time to take the shot, and still Karen Tiger's slow playing this like crazy.
They don't really have a choice right now, right? They don't want to go ahead and bring any of their tanks to that crazy. Oh, there we go. They all decide to leave. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I was gonna say that crazy little alleyway where they have 5 tanks waiting for you. That's awful.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we're gonna see that ambush attempt. So.
Okay. Oh gosh, here we go. EL Gaming, all of them are headed out. They are now in that courtyard, and we're going to see if they can pick off members of Karen Tigers. Akiv is the first one on their list. He is getting down quite fast. Goodbye.
Well, Aki is, I mean, he's basically just a sitting duck here. Karen Tiger's plan has been thwarted, essentially, though. I mean, they're going to have to move, but their focus firing is incredible. But now Shinoza gets a chance to shine. Aki goes down, but Shinoza's putting off a ton of damage onto Newman. Newman nearly goes down to 688 hit points. But the biggest concern is the base capture is down to 25 seconds. Conquerors are moving, though. Reflection and Fox going to try to deny this.
They sure are. Okay, Pitsit is going to be focus fired. Oh gosh, EL actually missed. I am appalled right now. I can't believe they did that.
Well, once the reload's completed, I think they're going to get another shot at this.
Okay, Tepco goes down, but you know what? Fox and Nice go down as well. This is not going as smoothly or cleanly for EL as we expected to. 3 minutes left on the game timer.
Well, this has been a crazy game. The Mals is actually locking down the E5s currently, and the IS4 is coming to join them. Looks like Renault is barely going to be able to escape death here. Pauly to join him. Oh, Renault's so low, though.
Oh, he is super low, and he was able to heal himself for a little bit, but nope. Oh, gosh, good ricochet on that. Using the husk of the dead tank
Renault has
there.
4 health. He couldn't, I was about to say, he could not be more almost dead. The Mals can actually kill Pauly here. Spring can make the shot.
That mouse is so slow.
The aim time on the Mals is insanely slow, as you guys can see.
And Pauly is most likely just going to blow up right here. He's
One
just
shot
going to
will
bash
do
him
it.
in, and oh my gosh.
It's actually crazy. Now he finally gets that kill. Notice how the Mals turn, though, to make sure to maximize ricochet potential. Shinoza's the last tank standing at full health on a 50B, but the problem is it's an autoloader. It's only got 4 shots, so it's not going to be able to do any sort of crazy Scarface last stand.
Yeah, especially with 4 tanks of EL Gaming. If it was any other team, maybe, but this is EL, and Shinoza already getting chunked down. Took 1 shot, but took a bigger one to the face. And it looks like EL are going to take this first game.
Shinoza, can he get 1 kill before he goes down? The answer is yes. He takes out Guan Ren. Reflection will finish him with a ram, though, and that is going to be the end of game 1. EL will take game number 1 here in their second match of the night. So what I was most excited for on Himmelsdorf was to see EL go for an aggressive attack. You know, how aggressive are they going to be? Which side are they going to go for? But they've already shown us something super fun and cool.
That was awesome.
On the defensive side.
Yeah. Well, now I'm thinking on the attack, because they had to play so patiently on that first game, I wouldn't be surprised if EL just goes all out and was like, I don't want to wait anymore. Let's just finish this.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're probably going to see, I would say, I'm trying to think of how EL is going to do this on the attack. Opportunities for their tier 9s, we could see 2 Conquerors, which is what they've shown us mostly of the past. With their, already showing us their tendency to push for the railroad track point, they could run a 1390 instead and use it to hide behind that point. Obviously, still do some autoloader damage if need be. But if they go super standard, not for EL, but for standard for this map, and they go for the corner cap point, it wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. We always get to see something different from EL every time. So this is what I'm most excited for. Like, what are they going to show us on Himmelsdorf? Because this is not the map where EL just kind of runs around and just annihilates people with focus fire. This is when EL plays careful. This is when they play calm,
when they
positional
put 5
play.
tanks in a row and waits it out for 5 minutes. I mean,
whereas like that's the moment where Karen Tiger's like, did they DC? Like, where are they?
Where are they? Confuse your opponent. I mean, it's all about the mind games, isn't it? EL Gaming, man. I am excited to see what tanks they're going to bring to this lineup. And yeah, is it going to be patient long game, or is it just going to be, a big brawl out in the railroad tracks because, again, everyone does know that EL has been headed over to that section of the map a lot more
If
often.
Karen Tigers has been doing their research, I think they're going to bring an IS-7, just like we saw last game from spring, I believe it was. He's going to sit it at that second capture point, keep eyes over there, as well as have a secondary tank somewhat nearby, because you're going to need 2 tanks if it's a big push EL style towards that railroad cap. Probably going to bring 50 Bs to the high ground. We have seen EL every now and then bring the tank destroyer, but compared to the other teams, a little bit less likely to do so. And they're still in tank selection right now as they are figuring out what comp they want to use.
We shall see. I'm looking to see if they've changed up any players at all. Doesn't look that way.
Yeah, Opolis still nowhere to be found.
I know.
One tear comes down my eye. It's sad
I
to
got
see.
to shake his hand,
Yeah, we did get to meet him in real life. That was definitely the highlight of my World of Tanks casting
I was
career.
like, dude, you're my hero, and he was all like, I don't know if he understood me, but
I'm sure someone has told him about all of the good things we said about him because he's a great player. Not to be found though in this lobby.
yeah.
As EL makes their last tank selections before we get into this second game.
I think we are just about done. The observer is just assigning tanks now to the proper owner.
That's
Make
right.
sure that everyone gets a tank that they are good at, and we will head into Himmelsdorf. What's the map after this?
The map after this will be
Mines.
Mines, that's right. And then we're going to go into Burovanka and then potentially Cliff for the final map.
All right.
Before tiebreakers, which will be on, I can't remember.
It's right here.
Ghost Town.
Yes. It's
Thanks
right
for the cheat sheets right there. It's right there. So, literally on TV, I forgot. Oh my God.
It's right there.
This is taking a little bit longer. EL definitely really putting some thought into their tank lineup. So, not perfectly confident, not the insta-locks that we have seen from EL in the past.
Yep. Unless we're having just an issue with the observer and making sure everyone's getting what they need. It looks like Tepco has left the lobby. That's not good.
We need him in there. They need him because he's their lightweight T-54s and get all the spotting. And
He's the guy. I think
perhaps
he's the guy.
not getting spotted in this case because they were hiding, but
He's the guy that I think they're trying to, make into a good player so that Opolis can sit back and be like, oh, my protege,
Well, funny story is we talked about this a little bit last time Karen Tigers were playing. Was Opolis was present in the the purgatory of all the players that are logged into the lobby that could be added and swapped in. So it looked like they might have considered swapping him in. But today he's nowhere to be found. So maybe he's just in the team house, sitting behind saying, all right, he's like coaching them. Maybe, like you're saying, Tepco can serve that filler role and Opolis can finally like sit back as more of a coach sort of role, which I think he'd be great at, because to be as good as an SPG player as Opolis is, you have to have so much game knowledge, so much positioning knowledge.
That is very true. All right, I think everything is ready, and we are ready, good to go on Himmelsdorf. Let's get into game number 2. Welcome back to Himmelsdorf, everyone. Karen Tiger versus EL Gaming. EL did take that first game, and now they have switched sides, and they are on the attack.
All right, let's talk about EL's lineup first. 4 215Bs,
Wow.
their 1390 I was talking about, as well as 2 E4s. Now on the side of Karen Tiger, we're going to have 2 E100s, an E5, 50B, and 2 T54s instead of Conquerors. Not sure if I necessarily agree with that choice, but we'll see if it works out for them.
Interesting, yeah.
Well, the E100s are going to be great at denying corner caps. With the composition we see from EL Gaming, I think they actually might even eventually, after they get some positional advantage, try to push through the courtyard, because those tanks are faster, they can take some damage. Interesting choice though, because they don't have, all they have is those E4s to block for them. They don't have any E100s or E5s. The E4s, obviously a little bit faster, sacrifice some firepower. And we're going to see Black roam forward for some Tepco. Ooh, getting a bit ahead of himself.
Yep, Tepco is going to take the first hit here. And I find it interesting that on the mini-map, you can see that there is that one tank that's over by the railroad tracks because they are assuming that EL will head over there. Tepco, on his way around into the city, does take quite a lot of damage.
And he's going to go ahead and hide over here next to Reno now. He's had enough.
Help me, friends. Help me, E100s. I need you. But, oh gosh, guys, look at this. This is an army of 215Bs just coming down the road. They're going to be able to do so much damage.
One of the things that we've seen now from EO Gaming this season compared to last season, and not to say that we didn't see it from them every now and then and that they didn't think that they did this, but we're seeing some of their flexibility, which before they played so standard that they were really good at whatever they did, but they did the same thing most of the time. But now we're seeing like they can do a little bit of everything. You have no idea what to expect when you're playing against EL because they've shown us like 12 different strategies. You can't even predict what they're going to do. And the name of the game today has been Ambush Gaming, not EL Gaming.
Yes, and now they are surrounded. These 3 tanks, there is nothing they are going to be able to do. When you are focus fired by 215Bs, like, seriously, what can Poly, Reno, or Akiv do in this situation?
The positioning is great as well because the E4s are going to help protect Guan Ren, but the rest of the 215Bs can't really be attacked at this angle. They're going to go ahead and kill Poly. Reflection goes down, but Reno will fall too, and Aki is in a bad spot. Don't forget, Black is actually taking the fight to pit sit.
Yes, he sure is, and he's making sure that he can help out with this. On the AMX 1390, he's
like, I can fight an E5, that's fine.
That's okay, because I'm Black.
Pit sit is just ignoring him, which I think is the right choice, but it's obviously not super ideal because he lost 90% of his health.
I'm not sure if there was any right choice, to be completely honest with you. Newman is going to see if he could finish off this job, and already, Karen Tiger, in a blink of an eye, down to 2 tanks.
Modame and Shinoza, the last tanks standing. Modame trying to back up and take out Nice here. Ooh, that was a perfect shot to take out Nice. Right on that angle, right next to the treads. Black's back up and reloaded. Shinoza does kill Newman.
Yeah, and over there, I mean, you guys, it looks like it's in the building, but Shinoza and Fox are definitely duking it out on the other side. Oh, gosh.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one.
Be careful, guys.
Shinoza and Modame trying to sneak around. And...
No,
okay, here we go. Black is waiting
for them and takes a hit. Black actually is the one who takes the hit.
All right, let's see. Who says a 1390 can't kill a T-54? Boom. Just happened again.
Beautifully done, and EL Gaming wins this one as well.
They get a 2-0 lead, now heading into Mines. But Mines' a map, historically speaking, partially again due to Obelisk's great artillery play, Karen Tigers has an insanely good win rate on and have prepared for maps like this very, very well.
Yes.
What we've seen from EL Gaming already on this, though, is not exactly what we saw from Karen Tiger or even EL last season, but they are fighting in the mines. They're rushing to it aggressively. We even saw B Gaming just was like, I concede the point. I'm not even going to fight you guys there. We're going to totally circumvent that. Let's see if Karen Tigers is going to come and meet EL in the open field, or if they're going to simply do as B Gaming did, their other Japanese counterpart, and hide and avoid that fight and try to take a more outer lighthouse-focused engagement.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say either way. They're still going to lose to EL Gaming. at this point right now, EL has just been so good. They are on a roll. It's a back-to-back game. They must be tired. And yet they're still playing at this level, and I find that amazing.
That's another factor too, is how much longer EL has been playing, and that with a similar play style that B Gaming has to Karen can study how EL plays against them. The problem is that EL is just playing a different game every time. It's like, well, last week they played like this in Himmelsdorf, but this week they're going to play like no one else in the world has and still win. So what are you going to do?
How do you prepare for that?
You just have to. I really feel like if I'm Karen Tiger's coach, if I'm Opolis back there, I'm like, everybody, let's take a moment, take a breather here for a second. Our mechanics are how we're going to win this. We're not going to win them against them strategically because we can never know what they're going to do. They keep doing something different. Let's just try to make sure we hit every shot and that we basically play perfectly and we play reactionarily. Let's not try to set something up against EL because there's no way to predict what they're going to do because they're doing something. They've shown us like 13 different strategies already.
I know. It's
like 13.
It's pretty crazy. So going into mines, then I'm going to assume a lot of Object 140s, right?
The best thing that Karen Tigers can do, and this is my personal opinion, right? Not everybody would agree, is say TEPCO, good plays. It's time for Obelisk to come out on the bird. Like he brings in a tier
He's
6,
not here.
tier 6 artillery, and this tier 10 meta. No, I feel like I want to see what Obelisk is thinking, you know, because he probably is definitely advising the team right now, but I don't know how, and I wish I could see.
All right. Well, it looks like everything is just about ready, and we are loading into the game. Here we go. Game number 3. All right, guys, welcome to Mines. This is set number 3, Karen Tiger versus EL Gaming. EL is up 2 games. Can Karen Tigers come back on the attack and see if they can even it up?
Well, EL Gaming is running a really similar composition to what they ran versus B Gaming. The difference being that instead of running 2 objects, they're running 3. They switched it out instead of that 215B. So no 215B, but they're bringing some E5s. Karen Tigers they're bringing, in fact, all E5s. 6 E5s.
That is a lot of E5s. Wow. Okay.
The E5 is going to be your damage deal, but you usually need something to protect it. You know, it's like you put an IS-7 at the front, it's going to do that extra damage behind it.
I mean, it's still less squishy than the 215Bs. So
Sure.
So at least I know they can hold their own. I'm just wondering how they're going to do with Object 140s. They're a little bit faster.
I wonder if they're trying to counter EL just fighting on the mine, but EL is actually not doing that. They're playing more like we saw them play last season, using the lighthouse side.
Okay. So it's actually EL going a little more defensive using the island on the bottom here.
Well, again, EL on the defense here. Position-wise, I'd say pretty even. No advantage to either side. Pauly trying to take a shot here on Fox. Pauly, for those who don't know, is actually like he's got a PhD in physics. Like he knows how these shots work, but he's still not able to connect.
Okay, so yeah, already we can see it's more of a strategical game here. Everyone is getting in position, things that they have practiced, obviously, and no crazy brawls or no crazy movements yet from either of these teams. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go on the clock.
Time is ticking for Karen Tiger, down 0-2 in this series. Now, what's going to be the best way of approaching this? They're moving towards capture point number 1, which we saw them actually have great success already this season versus the other teams, like Immortals, for example. Modame does get a shot with an RU.
Wow.
Be careful, Modame. That's not a fighter.
You don't want to pick a fight with an Object 140.
All right, they're actually going to try to do a rushed capture here, it looks like, behind the cover of these houses. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
No, I think they're just going to drive through. It does let EL Gaming know of their location, however. They know that there are tanks out that way. Juan Ren here, going to come up and see what he can find. And on that note, I think EL is going to regroup now. They saw that there was a tank going through capture point number 1 that lets EL know that Karen Tigers are up that way, but I think that was on purpose. There might be a big brawl going on the side.
Well, you know, EL is setting up for another ambush, it looks like to me. 2 of their bat chats set up here as well for that extra damage. They're looking for any tank that exposes itself. No success, let's roam somewhere else. 7 minutes to go before EL wins by timeout. There's still a long way to go. Newman takes another shot.
Oh, yeah. It looks like Pauly was able to catch him out.
This is such a scary place for EL because the positioning for Karen Tiger would allow them to rotate back and perhaps start contesting capture point number 1.
It looks like that's something that they might be able to do.
Like they could literally do it right now.
Yeah, I find it interesting that EL, they're just traveling all together. It's one big pack, and
they're being so meta. They're like, oh, the one thing that we could do that would be like insanely genius, let's just do the opposite. And Karen Tiger's like, wait, what are they doing? You know, wait, what, they move back over here?
No, they're gonna go. And again, one thing that EL does very well is the focus firing. They just take 3 or 4 of their tanks, pick one and eliminate it. So I think by traveling as a pack, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Here we go. Here's the brawl at the foot of the mines. They're going to try to take out Polly first. Goodbye, Polly.
Tepco's
then
the next
it's
target.
Tepco. Everyone focus on Tepco.
Here we go. Tepco's going to go down in second.
You are the star of the day.
He's the focus. He's the center of the universe.
Yep.
We did see Spring fell and Newman will follow. You know, this actually doesn't end up being a very good fight for EL at all. Even with perfect focus fire, the defensive position for Karen Tiger was really good. This game isn't over yet, but I have to give a huge edge to Karen, especially because their tank composition has the longevity that Karen Tigers does not. Although
Right.
Pitsig gets focused. Look at this focusing.
Oh, gosh.
Outnumbered, but still outgunning.
And they almost do it at exactly the same time. Like they have a counter on
It's
the
like
side.
a rhythm.
Yeah, there's like a timer for reloads on the side, and they're just like, okay, we're all up, let's go.
Like Shinoza and Reno are not participating right now, and that means that it's a 3v1 fight versus Shinoza. And that means Shinoza might die here. If EO Gaming was down like 4,000 hit points, are they going to turn this around with perfect control? It starts to look that way. Now they're ahead in hit points. Guan Rin is untouched. A key, one shot more will do it. Reno trying to support him, but really having some trouble.
Oh gosh, Akiv does go down, and again, Shinoza down to nothing. Pretty much. Reflection can go ahead and take this shot, but he'll probably be waiting for other members of EL.
Reno's still on cooldown here. Okay, he's back up. Well, Reno is not looking so
No,
nice,
but
or Reflection can
Guanren,
take a shot.
Fox, and Black all are going to run around together, see if they can shoot him down. Again, the focus firing,
They're abusing Reno's reload times as well. This is insane. And now it's going to be just simply 4v1. And that's GG there. EL will take the win to take a 3-0 lead. I cannot believe what we just saw. Put that on the highlight reels. Down 4,000 hit points. Better positioning. Like, a lot of those tanks for Karen Tigers were at full health. And most of the tanks at EL were at like 200 health to 400 health. Focus firing was perfect. They used the terrain to where they turned a fight that was against them into a, oh, Shinoza's over there. We've got 3 versus 1. If you react, we pull back up to the high ground with our faster tanks. This is one of the best examples of, I talk about this all the time. You've got objects versus, you know, say E5s or 2 and 5Bs, and it looks like those objects in a straight up fight would lose eventually because they don't have the same amount of armor, they don't have the same amount of hit points, they don't do as much damage. So I think the longer the fight goes, they have a lot of trouble. But in that last fight we just saw, you could see that mobility can win you games. Your ability to fire, retreat. If you dodge that round, during that reload time, you get punished, and 3 tanks focus on 1, pull back. And you do that enough times, you've eliminated that tank, you've eliminated the next tank, and one by one, they fall.
They do, and to be completely honest with you, I think Karen Tigers absolutely could have taken that game. They
should have. Most people would have argued even.
They had the advantage, and did they fluster? Did they just get frustrated or anxious at the end? I don't know, but it was either EL just playing absolutely superb, or Karen Tigers just kind of falling apart there towards the end.
I think they just got outplayed. EL is just that good. I mean, I wasn't joking when I say put that on the highlight reel. Like, if you put this on a highlight reel on YouTube, World Tanks fans will be like, oh my God. I mean, we're not talking about EL outplaying like TCSG like this, where it's like, oh, well, I mean, who knows? But this is Karen Tiger, the team that should be, you know, almost on par with them, the team that is the one team that everyone's saying might be able to challenge them. And yet, basically no mistakes made.
No.
Oh my God,
I know.
Susie.
All right, well, we're going back on mines, and they're going to be swapping sides. Karen Tigers need to get this win if they're going to be in the running here to grab those 3 points.
They took a frontal engagement that went badly. And then somebody, probably Guan Ren or Reflection, says, hold on, let's back off. Let's position perfectly. Everybody stay cool. Nobody's dead. We're all low. We're faster. We can actually outmaneuver them. That was crazy. I can't even believe what we just saw. I'm still like trying to get over it.
All right, well.
It's in the past, but I mean, like.
Let's, well, I think we are going to go into this next map. They are picking their tanks. I'm just going to peek over here to see if they're going to do the same thing. But I'm not going to tell you what they're going to do because you'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be a secret.
It is a secret. It's not going to be a secret, Wolf.
Yeah, actually, in a little bit, it will not be a secret. It'll be public.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a secret.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Semantics, again, we need to really work on. Anyway, so, yes, Mines, Karen Tigers, and EL. Again, I'm just wondering why it's taking them so much longer this time around to figure out which tanks they want.
It feels like every time EL goes onto the attack, they're like super careful about what they pick. Like there's a lot of discussion going on. You know, that's actually what's holding us up a little bit. We've got like 2 more tank selects that need to be made, and then we're going to be good to go.
I think so. All right, Black got the tank that he wanted, and once the observers get the okays from both the teams, we can head into this game. And I'm just excited to see this game. Again, you guys know I love the brawls, and I love it when all the tanks just get together right at the foot of the mines. But I did not expect something like that from the last game.
Nobody could have expected that sort of scenario to happen, Susie. We could see it happen again. If EL wins this, they will be on match point, 1 win to take it.
All right. Okay, finally, everyone is loaded. Everyone has their tanks. We're going to head into game number 4. Welcome back to Mines. It is game number 4 between Karen Tiger and EL Gaming. EL Gaming up 3 games, and now they are the ones on the attack.
All right, looking at tank compositions, it's the same thing, except 2 E5s from EL Gaming. So just, you know, they're not running as many objects as last time, 2 T54s. And it's Modame on an RU-251. Tepco running the E5 again. So really similar to what we saw last game. Let's see if EL can make this happen. They're actually headed towards that high ground on the mines. It's going to be tough to win a fight like this.
They're just going to go straight for the mines, and it looks like they want to bring the fight to them.
Good focus fire by Karen Tiger.
Very, very nicely done. Oh, gosh. Modame, you're in the wrong place, dude. He kind of gets chipped down, but it's okay. The rest of the team is there, and...
So EL basically put their E5s in a position where it looked like they were going to be outgunned, but they had their Object 140s on the side to give some support fire. And that's what Karen Tiger is trying to go in and take out. The Object 40s, if they can get in there. Easier said than done, but that's the objective here. They're getting pretty deep into EL's territory, though.
They sure are, and like I said, I think Karen Tiger just wanted to be able to take this game 1v1. Akeev, wow, with that credit, he got hit for 2,000.
Yeah, just massive damage, good focus fire. Reno overstepping his bounds as well, because guess what? Reflection and Nice are going to turn on him, because this is what EL does. They focus. Look at that. See you later, Reno.
Focus gaming. Reno is just getting hit by 3 different sides. He has no chance. He definitely went way too far into the mines where he's surrounded by EL Gaming. And
notice Fox as well. Keep an eye on Fox. He has 66 health left. Let's see how much more damage he can get done this game by himself. He survives. The second he knows he's in lethal range, he's going to escape. And he's going to come back later as one of these lower health EL tanks to take the win. Look at this. Superb focus firing, superb maneuvering.
It is so, so impressive. Fox finally goes down. Polly, while on fire, decides to take out Fox. But you know what? There are only 2 members left of Karen Tigers now, both under 1,000 HP.
Faster than you can speak, they can kill it.
This is
It's one of the only things
slaughter.
in life that's easier done than said, Susie, is EL killing Karen Tiger.
All right, well, Tepco is down and hits it. Here you go. You are going to be surrounded by 4 tanks, sir. How does that feel? I didn't hear you underneath all that fire.
Whoa, 4-0 for EL, and we're going into now Muravanka as potentially our last map. And
Possibly.
EL with all the momentum, incredible plays. If there was any question which team has the better mechanics in a straight-up fight, that question has been answered. Those 2 Mines games, if you're not blown away, if you're not impressed, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what will impress you. Jeez.
Have you like time traveled to the future to like year 2200 to see like the android robots fight like in World of Tanks like in the future, like, and you're like, well, I mean, I don't know, they like missed one time. I'm like, Come on.
Did the android robots look like EL Gaming members? Because we were discussing that earlier.
I guarantee you, if in the future they make robots to play World of Tanks, they're going to make them look like their appearance will look like the EL Gaming players. They're going to have EL like logos on their shoulders.
You know what? Wargaming might go ahead and really look into this. They might be droids. There might be droids. I mean, after watching them play like that.
That's the real next level strat for Karen
You have to
Tiger.
be a droid.
No, well, the next level strat for Karen Tiger is try to find the command ship. Who's controlling the droids?
Ooh, that is...
EMP their team house, knock out their batteries. Okay, that's the way. But all jokes aside, what can Karen Tiger do? We're going to Muravanka now, one of our newer maps. A map that we don't see as often, but we've seen it more than Cliff, for example.
We have seen it more than Cliff, but definitely, yeah, this would probably be the second least seen map
Yeah,
so
next
far.
to Cliff and Runeberg. It's seen play twice, I believe.
Yes.
Whereas we saw Runeberg for the first time today. Muravanka, one of those maps that's like similar to Runeberg, actually. We talked about a lot.
But you know what? Before we go ahead and talk about it, we'll show you the map VCR instead, and that way you guys can see it for yourself.
All right, so Muravanka is similar to Runeberg in that it's kind of like a map that's, I guess, somewhat populated by buildings and somewhat populated by, just grassier areas like steppes, just a more wide open area. Big differences being that you don't spawn inside of a big city to escape from. It's not like Runeberg in that sense. There's just kind of houses everywhere that you need to maneuver through. There's a lot of brush on this map. There's a lot of vegetation. So accuracy is tough. You're actually going to have a hard time hitting someone at long range. So close range battles, big brawls like Susie likes,
Yay.
is what we see a lot of the time on this map.
Wow, yeah, like you guys can see here, lots of little houses in between, lots of little places to hide, and it's going to take a lot of strategy. But, again, this is EL Gaming versus Karen Tiger, and the way EL's been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if we just had a whole bunch of, like, Object 140s and they decide to, zip around town and shoot at everything.
So Object 140s as well as 215Bs are what I'm expecting we're going to see on this map. The capture points that you see to the south, the one that we see contested more often is the one on the west side. But let's be frank, capture points are almost like an afterthought on this map. They're another win condition for the attacking team, but 99% of the time wins are done on this map via elimination in those big brawls. And with EL Gaming on the field, on the map, walking in here, I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to see.
I absolutely agree with you on that. So yeah, tanks selection is going through now, and I think we're just about ready to get into this fight. This could be it. EL might go ahead and take that win. That brings them to 12 points.
Yes, and because they win against Karen Tiger in the head-to-head position, if later on there's a tie in points for any reason, they'll be ahead in that regard. And they've beaten the team that's going to be right behind them. So it's like it's pretty safe to say that EL is number one if they win this match. So this is Karen Tiger's best chance to turn it around. But not only do they have to win this game, but they need to win 3 games after that. Then they go to tiebreaker. It's a long road.
You make it sound so hard.
I make it sound impossible because it basically is.
I think it might be, especially against EL. But you know what? Yeah, 12 points. And Karen Tigers will still be in second place with 9 points, which is way more ahead than all the other teams as of right now anyhow. But here we go. I think we're going to go ahead into game number 5. Welcome, guys, to Muravanka. This is set number 5, Karen Tiger versus EL Gaming. EL is up 4 games. This could be the last game of the evening, and Karen Tigers are going to attack first.
That's right, Susie. Now, we are going to see a unique tank in here. The T62A is going to be on Karen Tigers. Otherwise, they're bringing a bunch of E5s, 4 E5s, the Bat Chat, and Tepco on that T54 lightweight. And we're going to see that Tier 8 Tank Destroyer as the filler tank springs on that. We saw a lot of that last season.
Oh, wow, yeah. Welcome back.
It's the Waffen, just slightly differently abbreviated. But as you might expect, EL Gaming is running all those Object 140s.
That is what I said earlier, wasn't it?
It's what you would expect, right? So let's see how they want to play this.
All right, remember, EL is the ones on the defense, and so they just need to make sure nothing gets kept and that nobody dies in 9 minutes and 10 seconds.
Really, really scary movements here when you see EL move like this. It's like something out of a movie, like you see like the beginning of the movie, the first 5 minutes where you watch this terrifying team just totally dominate this other team. And it's like just like that's the building story of why this team is the best.
The thunder and the music in the background really add to the ambiance of this.
Absolutely. Tepco is like, I am out of here. I saw them though, I know they're coming, they're moving together. He's conveying that idea to his team. And this might be the first time we see, I keep talking about this opportunity, but Karen Tiger has never seized the opportunity to capture a base while EL is all out of position. This might be it. Tepco might go down, but this is a huge opportunity for them to put 3 tanks in the capture point.
This is great.
And they're finally going to take this opportunity to take this base while EL moves as 7 on the other side of the map, well, as 6 of the Waffen. Obviously, this is a good opportunity.
All right, Tepco does go down, but he has done his job. There is 15 seconds left in this base capture, and we're just going to have to see if EL is actually going to be able to make it there on time, and they do already. The boys are going to have to give up this base capture. So close.
Karen Tiger just decided that they did not want to risk it. Shinoza goes down regardless. Great accuracy there on the back chat from Newman.
Yes, and Reflection is going to go down as well. That was actually a very good trade for the team.
Yeah. Karen Tiger still have an opportunity to win this one. Pit Sit survives, which is really important. And he's actually staying at the back. They're protecting him really well here. Guan Ren goes down too.
He does. Polly and Pit Sit both very low, but staying out of the fight. They're going to stay behind. See if they can give some cover fire instead. While EL Gaming, they're losing men a lot faster this game than we have ever seen.
And keep in mind also they're all Object 140s really, so they're not the strongest, but 2 more kills back-to-back. Pit Sit, the most recent with Polly.
I take my words back. Even if right here Black goes down, there is only 3 members left of
Look at the mechanics that we're seeing from Black.
Oh, wow.
1v3, he draws the 1 tank into a 1v1, traps the other 2 tanks on the other side, and guess what? Fox and Newman on the other side of this map, one of the hardest maps to shoot long range at because of all the shrubbery, buildings, etc.
Wow.
They wipe them.
Again, Black is just a diversion here as Fox and Newman from behind go ahead and take him out. That was...
Almost no other team can take an Object 140 versus 3 tanks with a building, get to one side of the building, isolate another tank 1v1. It's still a bad fight 1v1, but like you say, it's more of a diversion. He's like, hey guys, I got a problem here. Newman and Fox are like, oh, we're on it. We already see it. We've been tracking them the whole game. There they are. Take them out from the side. Boom, boom. Kills after kills. And incredible plays from EL. I think this is the best game, the best series I've seen from EL ever. Like, that was the best play we've seen from them. They won fights they shouldn't have won. They won games that were down 4,000 hit points. I mean, what do you want? Like, they proved to me right now the best team in this league.
They absolutely are the best team in the league. If they're able to take, I mean, even B Gaming took games off of EL, but wow, just watching this interaction, EL, in my mind, absolutely the best team in Asia right now.
There's no other word that I would say. I would never use this word in like eSports, but EL played a perfect series basically. Like every decision they made, every movement they made, especially when it came to coordination, focus fire, communication. Someone like Black, who should by all rights be dead versus E5s in an Object 140, can escape 2 of them around the side of a building where he knows his teammates can give cover fire because he's got like the blueprint in his mind as to where his teammates are, and they're talking to him, saying, I see him, I'll kill him, turn on him now, everybody focus, and then I'm getting really excited, like, just watching this. I
am more and more convinced that they really are robots, but that's for another day. We're going to go ahead and talk about the results for tonight. We had 3 series. Here we go. Super Noobs versus Team Efficiency. The score was 5-2. Team Efficiency with that awesome Cliff comeback. Then we had match number 2, which was EL versus B Gaming. B Gaming did take a game off EL.
That's
Didn't
right.
give him that perfect series, but EL does still win. Then they go to play Karen Tigers, continue their streak 5-0, and they win match number 3.
The most impressive game was when Karen Tigers won on Mines in game number 1 on Mines, which was game 3 overall. That was insane. They were down by all rights. They were out-positioned as well, and they still won the fight just with good communication, good coordination.
Yeah.
As soon as I get home, I'm gonna go watch that again, because that was like out of control, out of this world.
That really was. All right, so now let's look at the rankings so far. Today is day number 4. EL Gaming with 15 points. Apparently I can't do math because I thought it was 12 earlier, but 15 points. Karen Tigers with 9. Immortals and Horsemen Super Noobs all tied for 3rd. They have 3 points. And we have Team Efficiency, B Gaming, and PvP Super Friends. So far have not taken a game, but you know what? We are still so early in this tournament that anything can happen at this point.
That's right, and some of these teams that have 0 points have like only played against EL and Karen Tiger.
Yeah, that's true too.
So keep that in mind, and EL and Karen have played more than anybody else. The only thing you can really take from this ranking screen currently, because it is still so early, is that EL Gaming and Karen Tiger are, as they were last season, still on top. But when it comes to the rest of the 6 teams, there's still so much yet to be seen.
Absolutely, and like you said, EL and Karen just have been playing a lot more games, and so as the weeks progress, we're going to start seeing more back-to-back games of different teams, and we'll be able to really be able to see where they are 3 to 6, totally not determined at all.
That's right. So it's been a great day today of tanks. EL really showing us some awesome games. Super Noobs as well, proving themselves. Team Efficiency not looking so bad either, and this season's already looking better and better.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about Thursday's matchups. So the next matchup, we have PvP Super Friends versus the Karen Tigers. Oh, it's Karen Tigers' day to do back-to-back. Then they have Karen Tiger plays against Horsemen, and then EL Gaming versus Horsemen again. It looks like Karen Tiger and EL Gaming just trying to get all their games out of the way.
Yeah, definitely looks that way. Horsemen's also playing twice on Thursday. And I have to say, Super Friends have really impressed, and they do have a good track record in other leagues in Asia. So I feel like that first matchup is probably going to be the best one of Thursday, but all 3 of them, everybody likes to watch EL Gaming play, so it's going to be a good Thursday no matter which way you want to look at it.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, Horsemen are playing back-to-back too.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize this. Wow, okay. So everything about Thursday seems to be awesome. It's on December 10th at 8 o'clock UTC plus 8, and that would be at 9 o'clock Korea Standard Time, in case you guys follow Korea time with other esports or whatnot. But that's the schedule for Thursday. So come watch the Horsemen, watch Karen Tigers, and EL Gaming one more time, and the PvP Super Friends. We will see you on Thursday then. So make sure you guys keep warm and have a good night.